Yeah, I want to hear this.
Okay. All right, everybody. We're at the skate park here in Spartansburg. Got to get our running start here. Yeah, I definitely can. Can I pay you to do it?
No. Yeah, you can pay me.
No, literally give you money?
I don't take bribery.
You don't take bribery?
No, I take bribery.
People are taking bribery.
I take bribery.
People are taking bribery for the hoaxine.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't agree with that either.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I'm not going to take money and then change my mindset on something that I'm pretty set on. You know?
What if I give you a tool to be able to help you visualize some various questions that you might have for a flat earther?
Do it.
Is that okay?
I see it, yeah.
Okay, so what I'll do, I got my pockets all conjumbled here. So here you go. It's an app for $3. I just gave you $5, right? So what's the difference? $2, right? So you just made $2, and all you got to do is just scan that QR code right there.
Right.
And what question do you happen to have for me? Because I'm a flat earther.
What do you think about pictures of the Earth from space that show obvious curvature?
Obvious curvature. Okay. How high do you have to be to see curvature? Do you know?
No. If you could tell me that, that'd be a really interesting factoid.
So, how do you know that you're seeing curvature then?
From pictures.
Okay, so pictures are real.
It seems to be. Yeah.
Pictures are real.
Yeah.
Like dinosaurs and
Right.
Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. Those are real.
Okay, so you don't believe in dinosaurs.
I've never seen one. Have you guys seen a dinosaur?
Maybe that is true. I've never seen a dinosaur before.
Okay,
I don't know for a fact that
can we at least reason with each other and I haven't seen a dinosaur,
that makes
right?
sense. I've never seen a dinosaur either.
Okay, yeah.
I get that.
You seen Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you think that was for? Do you think that was a documentary?
No, definitely not. It's
That was like some sci-fi.
Okay, well, it was science fiction. Well, science and science fiction are essentially the same thing.
Okay.
So, what was it? What was it for? Like, what was it? Obvious.
Entertainment purposes.
You think so?
Yeah.
But it was based off of what we're taught being real. That dinosaurs are real. So, was it a documentary or not?
No, because you can't prove any of it's real.
It could be a warning.
Here's my. I don't think you can prove to me the Earth is flat. I can't.
I don't want to prove it to you.
I can't prove to you that the Earth is round. Nobody knows anything. A lot of things are made up and lies. So.
I want you to prove it to yourself. How about that? Is that fair enough to say?
Have you proven it to yourself?
I have. That's why I'm here. That's why I drove from Minneapolis to come here and talk to you.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. You drove here?
Yes, sir.
That's a long drive, though.
Yeah. But I'm here.
Yeah. Is that filming me?
Yes, sir.
What about Agartha?
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Agartha.
Agartha?
Hollow Earth.
Oh yeah, I mean the Earth can be hollow and flat. It doesn't have to be like a hollowed out, ball.
Shit, man.
You alright?
So if the Earth is flat,
Yeah.
do you also believe that it's hollow?
Well, I mean, there's tunnels. I'm sure they've dug tunnels, and I'm sure there's other tunnels and things of that nature.
Over the ice cap?
Maybe. But you want to do this here? Hey guys, can you grab me my speaker and those cables, please?
You can't play some loud stuff.
No, I'm not. I have some audio that I'd love to play, and sometimes it doesn't get very loud, but we can try it here with this. So I just gave you $5, and I'll give you your first answer right here. This is my friend who I just met. His name is ODD.
ODD?
Yeah, ODD TV.
What's up, man? How you doing? Doing good.
Okay.
Are y'all Christians?
I mean, I'm a believer, but I'm here for flat Earth.
So there's separate beliefs, would you say?
They claim this picture from Apollo 17.
Okay. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
So you're saying that picture's not real?
No, it's not. It's Photoshopped because it has to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Earth looks like a map that you would look at.
In 2002,
like a cartogram.
All maps are
he is
flat.
now called
Right.
Mr. Blue Marble.
So
Alright.
is the Earth like a disc? Or
Okay,
are we
so
talking like a rectangle?
so he asked me a question, right? So you guys got to listen to this guy narrate why you think that you believe that pictures of Earth from space are real. So you really have to, kind of pay it. It's like 4 minutes.
They are all clearly computer generated
They claim this picture from Apollo 17 in 1972 is real. And they also
I don't
claim
believe in
that
the first moon
2015
I never did either.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's bullshit.
Is that a complete
employee
separate
Robert
thing?
Simmons gave
No.
us a glimpse of how they do it when he shared his experience
That guy looks creepy,
creating the
low-key.
Blue Marble 2.0
Right.
in 2002.
He's got something to hide.
He is now called Mr. Blue Marble. He was interviewed and on record stating, the last time anyone took a photograph from above low Earth orbit that showed an entire hemisphere, one side of the globe, was in 1972 during Apollo 17. NASA's Earth Observing System, EOS, satellites were designed to give a checkup of Earth's health. By 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth, so we did.
In 2002,
Here it is. This is the shot right here. Listen.
NASA's Rob Simmons made this. Simmons' job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is. A composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it was a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is
Painted on.
Photoshop, but it's has to be.
Then,
There was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
and then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of the water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
There's your
What
Earth.
I imagine it to be. Unfortunately,
From
I'm
space.
not an astronaut. I've never been to space.
On a
But
computer.
I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it. It is Photoshop, but it's
Because those pictures are computer
So here you go.
but it's
That's just not one, it's multiple.
It's
All of your images that you've seen in school
has to be.
are photoshopped and they're not real.
Okay.
So they've been lying to us.
I have another question.
Yeah, what's up?
How would you explain gravity then, if the Earth is flat?
What do you mean, like, explain it and what is gravity?
So gravity is the force of the planet pulling you towards itself from the sun.
How can you demonstrate that?
Like,
Like that.
How can you demonstrate that?
I mean, do you not know how gravity works?
Can you
Are you
show
telling me
me
that
how to
gravity is
recreate
real?
gravity and then draw something to it? Can you show me how you can demonstrate that?
Well, no, I can't recreate gravity because I'm not a fucking god.
Oh, okay. So what if gravity is just nomenclature for why things fall to the ground, which is buoyancy, density, and electrostatics?
can you explain that?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So when we go out on a boat and we're hanging out and it's a nice day and we got some beverages and we're enjoying the water, and I have like a thimble, and I drop the thimble into the water. What's it going to do?
Sink.
Why? Why doesn't it float?
Because it's heavy and it's denser than the water around it, so it's going to go to the bottom.
Oh, that's
I don't know,
weird.
thimbles aren't very dense. I feel like it might float.
But how do you feel?
That's weird because you said that it's more dense than the water, so it sinks. But now you drop your skateboard and you think that it's gravity? I don't understand.
Yeah, helium they go up.
Right, because it's less dense. Because
Oh.
helium is less dense than oxygen or nitrogen, which composes all this. So helium's less dense than that, so it rises up.
So it
This
anti-gravity.
is way more dense than any
No, it's just less
oxygen
gravity.
particles.
Oh. But
one
he
doesn't
but he said when he drops something in the water, it sinks to the floor because it's more dense. But then you drop something when we can breathe, and that's gravity.
Same shit.
Same
Yeah.
concept.
So it's
that's
buoyancy.
gravity.
So it's buoyancy and
The
density.
nomenclature you were just referring to, yeah. That's,
Okay. So what if things fall to the ground because there's electrostatics?
that doesn't really make any sense to me right now, but if you could
Sure.
explain that.
Yeah. So static electricity.
Yeah.
Rub a balloon and
Yeah.
sticks your head, right?
Yeah. Why?
So we have charge in the air.
Okay.
So that's why things fall to the ground, is because there's a charge in the air that draws things to the ground. Like we're walking in the ether right now.
Oh, That's a big
You know?
word.
So we're walking in the ether, and you're just a resonant frequency that looks the way that you look. Like you were sololuminescence before you appeared as a human being. And so the difference between that is like you're like it's like a crystal. A crystal can only conform next to another crystal that it is like. But two crystals next to each other, like limestone and other rocks that you see out here, they look different because they can't come together. And so we're separate from the ether. That's why I have skin. Like I can tell the difference between me being like in the ocean, part of the ocean, but I'm separate from the air. Does that make sense?
So that's also playing into your consciousness.
You're right, yeah. And it's subliminal because ever since we were born, we were taught that we live on a ball earth in outer space, and
So
people believe
you
that.
believe in a dome.
I believe that the earth goes on infinitely forever, and the sky and the ground are parallel with each other, and you just have to go out and
you don't
discover
believe
more
that?
lands.
So then why
No, I
the
don't.
hell is the moon going up and down? The sun goes like this.
Have you ever seen the moon? Have you ever seen the earth spin from outer space?
Videos.
Yeah.
Okay, have you with your own eyes seen the moons go around the earth? Okay, so have you ever seen the sun go around the earth or the earth go around the sun?
I can see the sun going, and that's why we're spinning. The sun
Okay,
stays in one spot.
so that's begging the question. You're assuming that the earth is a globe.
It is.
You're assuming.
But you're assuming that.
How have you proved it to yourself?
Through different common knowledge of other scientists.
Okay, so science is real because other scientists are scientists?
Yeah.
That sounds like a religion.
Scientology is a religion.
I mean, if that's a
kinda
religion,
sounds
the
like
flat
something
earther is like cold at that point.
No, because people believe in Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha and things of that like that because of books that people read about stories of those people. Have you ever met Jesus?
No.
Have you ever met Muhammad?
Definitely not.
So why is that different? But then books about dinosaurs and going to the moon and things like that, those are real.
Here's the thing, everything's perceived. We don't know anything for a pure fact, really. 'Cause it's
Okay.
just
Unless you
perception
do your
from the
own
mind.
experiments and you
Yeah.
know.
But do you
What if we did
believe
it,
for a
experiments?
fact that the earth is flat?
What
I
are
do,
your
I know for
experiments?
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
What are your experiments?
Yeah, so
Prove it to yourself.
if we, if we put a plug over that drain right there and we filled this up with water, what do you think would happen? Would the water,
Skate, I'd be pretty sad about it.
fair enough, or sand? I saw people putting sand on skate parks when COVID started. And so what happens is if you filled this all the way up to the brim, the water would lay level and flat at the surface because it's at rest. Okay, and so if we put little styrofoam continents on that body of water, okay, and then it floats, that's literally Earth because water, when contained, lays level and flat at the surface.
Because you got to think, you're making an experiment about what you're on.
Yeah.
That's kind of angled towards what your belief is because this is a flat.
So we can't agree as human beings that when water is contained, like in that bottle, that at the surface it lays level and flat when at rest.
Yeah, no, that's agreed.
We agree with that.
Gravity.
Okay, so when does curvature start then? When does it start to bend? Like I see no bend in this divot here. If we put water in it, when does water start to have a hump? Like, so like from one end to another, if I get my eye level with this parallel with that other corner over there, are you saying that there's going to be a bulge of water?
The earth is too damn big for there to be a bulge of water.
Really? How big is it?
You saying it's infinite, so it's got to be.
How big is your globe Earth that you believe you live on?
Super large.
If you know, I'll give you $10 right now without Googling it.
Big.
For what?
If you can tell me how big your Earth is, circumference and radius value, I'll give you $10.
Is it like 2,000 something?
What's the QR code in the app thing?
I just gotta ask this guy. I'll ask you a question in a second here, but
I went to science like a little while ago, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
How come?
That's a pretty crazy number to have on hand.
I know it though, that's why I'm flat earthing. So like I know what it's supposed to be. It's 24,901 miles circumference and 3959 radii. Does that make sense?
No, that's a wild term. I understood the first thing. So
Yeah.
some amount of miles.
Okay.
It sounded small.
Yeah, equator to equator is 24,901 miles.
But you just said that you think Earth is infinite.
Yeah, I do. Yep. Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's what I think.
If there is a plain number that you just told us of miles from equator to equator, how is it infinite?
I just quoted Google. Okay, Google, what's the circumference of the Earth?
So where are you all your factors?
Water. And the fluid dynamics of water lays level and flat when at rest. So when does the curvature start?
I have a question though. Real question.
Yeah, what's up?
So if you think the Earth is like infinitely flat?
Yeah, why not?
It's like a infinite Minecraft.
Yeah, why not?
How come we know every place in the world? You know what I'm saying? Like we know every destination of every bit of the world.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't mean to sound harsh, but you don't know anything. You don't do anything. You come here and you skate, and then you assume that people, when they tell you things, that's what they found, and then they tell you and you trust them.
I've had like a lot of family who's gone to like China, Australia,
Yep.
all over the earth.
Are those tangible?
Yes.
Are those tangible places we could all go to if we have enough money and enough masks on our face?
Yeah, I can go there right this minute.
Okay. So if we have enough masks on our face, we could go. Can we go to the moon by ourselves?
Well, Jeff Bezos probably could.
Can't go
That
to
guy
the moon
flew on a
because of the
penis-shaped
Van
rocket.
Allen belts. That's why the moon.
Or we can't go because it's flat and there's a dome over us and there's a ceiling.
Well, what about the moon? Is the moon flat?
But do you believe?
So can you go to
What
Mars?
is that?
Elon Musk wants to. And
Can
if
you go to? Why are you depending upon other people? Are these your prophets or something? You speak of them like they're your prophets.
Dude,
According to
I'm just
society,
a waiter. I don't know. I don't have the science.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm here to just kind of provoke thought, and maybe later tonight we might have some self-actualization together, and you might say, "Wow, I am putting a lot of faith in other people telling me things."
God, Cam? Guy? We're listening to you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, there's a lot of action here too.
Plane before?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I went to Thailand. Where have you gone?
Hawaii. I've never been on a plane. I was just wondering.
What were you gonna say?
Can you see the curvature of the Earth?
No, you can't. No, mathematically you can't see curvature of the Earth.
Do you think, so you know how like if you are in a plane, and you look around, like it's kind of like circular. Have you ever been like out in the middle of the ocean? It's like, so do you just think, like, if the Earth was flat,
It is flat.
so if the Earth was flat,
From my perspective, thinking if
Yeah.
the Earth is flat.
so do you think that the reason you can't see beyond the horizon is just because vision fails and you can't see all the way?
Yeah, I mean, there's water vapor compounding onto itself. There's
What if there was
dust
no
and
water vapor?
and we remove the water vapor, then you could see much, much further. But you can't see forever because that's just the optics of our eyes and perspective. You know what perspective, and that's when the ceiling and the sky and the ground meet. That's perspective.
Yeah.
So like when you go into a hallway and it converges onto itself, does that mean that the hallway is curving?
So a hallway is a much smaller spot.
I'm just trying to help you comprehend, maybe just relearn the perspective aspect.
Scale. Like if you're looking to infinity versus a hallway. A hallway is like 100 feet long.
Maybe.
But if you're looking
Have you been to Vegas?
thousands of miles, it's a whole different scale.
Okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying. But again, I asked you how big your ball earth that you believe you live on, how big it is miles-wise. You have to have curvature drop. So eventually you have to have bendy water. That like eventually like so when things disappear, you think that's when physical curvature starts?
Absolutely. So like from perspective, like we are so small that the curvature of the earth, how big it is, it almost it nearly looks flat. Like I can't believe.
I know it's I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
But
How have you verified it's a globe? So I gave you one of my favorite proofs that Earth is flat. What's your favorite proof Earth is a globe?
every single school system in the world teach that the world is a globe.
That's your proof that Earth is a globe is because people teach it?
But let me ask you, why?
But I asked you a question, right? I said, what is your proof that Earth is a globe?
And I'm gonna answer with a question.
Oh.
There's a video. They teach it worldwide. Nobody besides you guys, teaches their kids that the Earth is flat. Why does the whole world believe that it's a globe?
So you trust just because the masses all know the same thing, that's true?
I trust the whole world over a few flat earthers.
Wow, how come, have you met everybody in the world?
No, but pretty much every school system teaches that it's a globe.
So that means it's right.
It's not, well actually, let me take that back. I don't believe it's like perfectly right, but like from common knowledge and just...
Whose common knowledge? Your common knowledge that you just believe?
Part of the common knowledge.
But again, that sounds like a religion.
All a part of a collective consciousness. We're all gonna have collective
No, not everybody wants the same things you want. You might want to help end hunger.
That's where people's ego plays into.
Yeah, like the guy like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, right? Like they're spending billions of dollars for some lie about going to outer space when they could like actually end hunger and stuff like that.
Do you believe it's just an ocean, or do you believe
And it's deceptions like this.
No, the universe is the Earth is the floor of the universe in a sense.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're the center of everything. We're very special. Yeah. You are. Yeah, you're very special. You want to find out how special you are? Do you want to find out how special you are?
I know how special I am.
No, I mean, do you want to actually? Do you want to find out?
I know what I can do.
So you don't. You don't want. You're not curious, maybe to find another avenue.
What I can do.
What can you do? Can you go to the moon?
No, you can't.
Oh. Can you go to outer space and see Earth from space? That's what they told you. That's called gatekeeping. Yeah, they say that, oh, we can't go to the moon because of the Van Allen belt, but that's not true. We actually can't go to the moon because they destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back up again.
There's all types of shit.
Do you want to hear an astronaut say why we can't go to the moon? He said we can't go to the moon because we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build that back.
What about extraterrestrial and like other species?
What's terrestrial?
What our government?
What's terrestrial? What does terrestrial mean? Oh, that's David Icke stuff. What's terrestrial mean?
Open to these ideas. Like for example, what I showed you.
It means more land. It means land, terrestrial. So extra terrain. So extra land on Earth. That's what extra. No, people have warped the term and call it ET by being outer space like this. But that's not.
We're all aliens.
No, we're not aliens. This is our home. We were put here on purpose.
Each other, but we're aliens. Everything else they told you.
No.
Other beings.
What other beings? Have you seen other beings? Where? Well, you said you've seen other beings. Where have you seen them before?
There's all types of videos.
Okay, so you haven't seen anything. So you guys bring up a lot of TV and movie references.
I'm not talking about TV.
Well, then you saw video.
On the How do you explain the astro?
Well, we're kind of jumping a lot here. I know you have a lot of questions, but let's get back to the whole you've seen aliens before.
That's what he's mentioning though. He wasn't jumping off.
Okay, so the realm that we can't see.
In my astral form, my soul.
Okay.
Eight major languages. Okay.
What about the
And the very first tenet.
Are you tripping on acid or ayahuasca or something like that?
Humanity shall be maintained.
No. Are you a spiritual person?
Under 500 million
Do you believe in Yeshua?
perpetual balance.
Do you believe in Yeshua?
After massive with that.
Depopulation
Jesus?
agenda has
No?
been
Oh, well,
etched
Jesus,
in
yes, Jesus
stone.
was a higher dimension.
Just right down the road from here. And that monument
Okay.
actually proves that the earth, that we're at the center.
That's what you believe? Okay.
But there's all types of shit. You never know what
in Georgia, the guy
We're in a flat earth
it
conversation.
was literally
around.
there's
There's
a
so
little
many
hole in the
say-sos
central
that have traveled for so many years,
through that stone you can
tweaked
see
just a
the
little
North
bit,
Star.
and now everything that we have is bullshit.
And if
So, but you still believe Earth is a globe, though. That's not
I
bullshit.
don't know.
That's not BS, right?
Hover around the
Yeah, take care, man.
and examine it.
So, but again, that's religion. Like basing what other people do or write about something, and then you believe it. And you don't test it out yourself. That's a religion. That's faith, and it's okay to have faith. I have faith in a lot of stuff.
What you just said one more time. You said, because I said I can't jump and fly into the sky and examine the earth, that is religion.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if you believe that it's something that you can't do yourself and investigate, that's a religion. But you believe government's your God and they tell you all the truths. But you believe they tell you the truth about where you live.
Because there's 7 different families that believe.
But you believe that the Earth is a globe. So they didn't lie about that. They didn't lie about your home, right? Hey, here you go, Ben.
They tell us it's a globe, but like
That app is $3, and there's $5 if you want to download it and check it out. All your questions will be answered on that app.
I got a lot of questions.
Yeah, sure, man. Look at in the bottom right corner of bottom left corner of the app. Whoop. Thanks. There is a daily video. Watch that video 7 days in a row. It's new every day. And I just hope that then afterwards the gears might start turning a little bit.
I mean, the gears are already turning. I know what I know, but I'm still learning. There's
Okay.
all time. As the moment that you're born into this world until the moment
Here you go.
that you leave, you will
Here's
always
money to buy it.
learn something. I don't want it.
You don't want $5 in the app? You don't want like some other information maybe?
I mean, I'm not looking into
Hey,
it.
thanks a lot. Man.
Keep your money. You might need it.
No, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give out money to download the app and try it.
I would need a better incentive. I mean, my
$5, like I'm giving you a free app and $2. You want me to give you $10?
No, I don't want any money.
I'll give you $10 in the app. That's $7. Then you just got $7 for hanging out at the skate park.
I do not care, bro.
All right.
Money doesn't really mean too much.
Can I just give you the app for free then?
Yeah, sure.
Like, there you go. Okay, so when you choose to download it, you got to pay $3. Apple or Android. And so, no, you can just keep it.
Why would
So-
I pay $3 for knowledge?
Well, why wouldn't you? Well, I gave it to you for free though.
But then I have to pay.
No, I gave you money to buy it.
I don't want the money to buy it.
So why are you so stuck on your ball Earth? I don't understand why you believed government so much that they told you where you live.
Because there's no real, like, I've heard like a few conversations about flat Earth and it makes no sense.
But that app would explain everything for you, and it might make sense. And I think you're afraid that I might be right.
I'm not afraid that you're right.
I think you are.
No, hell no. I just know the Earth. Oh, I don't know.
See?
Pretty damn sure that the
It's
Earth-
just
So you have faith. You have faith, right?
Sure.
You have faith that other people told you the truth about where you live, right?
This is the problem with having conversations like this. You can't have a two-way conversation and debate anything.
Why can't we?
Somebody is going to be closed-minded.
Why can't we?
You.
Oh, I'm closed-minded? Sounds like you're closed-minded because you have a dogmatic view that the government told you where you live.
I never said that.
Well, you believe the Earth is a globe, right?
I didn't say that. I don't believe in anything.
That's nihilism. Nihilism isn't very productive. I would know.
I'm not a religious person. I'm telling you that right now.
But you believe that government tells you the truth about things.
And giving out like this is what you are, this is what you have to do, this is what is right. You're a closed-minded person, and you won't get any other people's opinion.
I'm getting a lot of people. I've been doing this for 5 years, so I've been doing pretty good for
What I'm
myself.
saying is you're gonna come around here and start.
You guys asked me to
Like,
come up, right?
We're great people. We don't get into fights or anything like that
Yeah.
because like there's no reason to argue.
Yeah.
But if you were to like come around and like talk to the wrong person, like you are,
Yeah.
like cutting people off like that, willing to get punched. In the
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, you want to punch
Has
me?
that happened? No,
Do you want to punch me?
I'm not
He's just
aggressive.
saying this is why, like, be a little more chill. You're good.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm totally
I
good.
understand what you
Do you, though?
and what I believe in, and I can add.
But how have you proved what you believe? That's just belief. Belief is the enemy of knowing. Belief is the enemy of knowing.
So why isn't your point of perspective of the Earth being flat also a religion?
Because it's the Earth, and nobody can take that away. Nobody can tell you what is the Earth or what it isn't. You can watch it. So
You're telling me that right now.
Yeah. Yep.
You're taking away
Yeah.
our Earth
You're
and
saying that whatever you are isn't a religion, but everything else in the world is, but you're acting like every single...
People can turn things into a religion. Yeah, but when water lays level and flat at the surface when at rest, how can the Earth bend and make a ball?
It's because it's so small. Like,
How small is it again? I'll give you another $10 if you can remember what I said to you.
Money, bro.
Oh.
Chill with the money. God damn. Like, so everything's on perspective. Like, if you have this damn water near you, think it's just gonna go whoop.
Yeah, why not? Isn't that gravity? It's gonna draw. It's gonna draw things up.
Anti-gravity, because it would draw things up.
Yeah.
Things drawn to the Earth because things are more.
Can you draw things up with electricity? Can you draw water up with electrostatics?
Probably. Well, not, man. I mean, like with metals, magnets, you can do that shit. But the only reason that, kind of like an example, like that water vaporizes is just because it's lighter. It's getting burned.
Helium. Yeah.
It just floats because it's less dense. But
It's not gravity? So when things go up, that's not gravity, but then when things go down, that's gravity.
And the density of what's around that.
What causes gravity?
the mass of the Earth.
How so? So which gravity? Do you know what gravity it is?
What's it called? It's like electro.
Is it Newtonian or Einsteinian gravity? Which
Just
one?
because things with more mass has more. Is it? It's
Things with more mass.
Is it like? I feel like I'm taking an alphabet test. Yeah. 2 years out of school.
Yeah.
I forgot all this shit already. What the fuck is that shit called? Did you go to school?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you remember what they called it when? Because all the shit like I've learned about, I just forgot because I haven't really thought about it too much. Which is why conversations like this are fun.
Yeah.
But what's it called when something with the heavier mass? That's why it draws gravity to it. It's like there's a term for it.
Yeah, and the experiment was the Cavendish experiment, where they had 2 lead balls and they were trying to prove that because of the dense and the mass that they were drawing themselves together.
Yeah, I don't think that probably worked really, right?
No, they don't use that anymore. They use Newtonian, or they use Einsteinian gravity, so the bending of space-time and things like that.
What about
They don't use like mass or anything. So like to think that the core of the Earth is molten lava or whatever, when a magnet gets reduced to liquid metal, you can't reactivate the magnet anymore. It loses its magnetism. So
it has to be.
So it can't be like a metal. It can't be a. Yeah, it can't be a core that's melted. But they teach us that it's melted. How?
You think about metal, huh?
Yeah. How deep have humans drilled into the?
You good?
How deep have humans drilled into the Earth?
I don't know.
8 miles. 8 miles. Shout out to Eminem. Yeah.
What's beyond the 8 miles? Do we know?
No, I guess I take it for what it's worth, right? But it's the Kona borehole, I think it's called, in Russia, and I guess their drill bits melt, and they can't drill any further. It seems to be kind of like that solid barrier part.
What you just said is explaining the mantle and the core.
Well, I'm saying that they can only drill 8 miles into the ground, so how do they explain the rest of the 3,900 miles that they can't see?
What do you believe is...
But they tell us that it's a gobstopper floating in outer space, so how have they verified the different crust layers?
What do you believe is below?
Yes, we are. What's it called? Radio waves, like something.
Yeah, they can't do that. They can't do that. They can't do that.
What do you mean they can't do that? That's how they map the bottom of the ocean floor.
Yeah, you can do that. You can map the bottom of the ocean floor because you can go there.
Yeah, but each
and you can drop things down there and find out.
Of dirt, it's not compact into one space.
How does it
Each molecule is tiny, 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 and those waves that they send through those machines can make it.
Yeah, it's like sonar. Mm-hmm.
But what do you believe is below us?
Just more ground, I guess. Like there's no underside to a flat Earth. But humans can't drill any further than 8 miles. So I can only say that there's a few hundred feet below 8 miles, and then I don't know what's below that. Could be hell for all I know.
Why do you think the drill bit melted?
Because it's really hot.
Why do you think it got really hot?
Because it's really hot down there. Yeah, probably friction and things like that.
So if you're taking the idea of friction, it would make sense that since there's so much mass kind of just piling on because of gravity, that's why this thing goes like that. If there's so much mass steadily getting more and more dense, it will eventually start just to melt.
Okay.
Everything.
But that doesn't prove flat or ball Earth, right?
I think I feel like it would be closer to globe style.
You're begging the question. Because that's what we do is we assume that
valiant effort, bro.
We assume that it's a globe because that's what we were taught at a very young age. When did your parents ever teach you Santa Claus or anything like that?
Yeah, I never was really one to believe in it though.
Not at any point during your childhood did you believe in Santa Claus?
Not really, because I would always get up in the middle of the night and
Okay, sure, yeah. So you seem like a really inquisitive guy.
Yeah, sure. So flat, when it comes down to it, I don't really fully believe in everything.
Okay.
Just because there's no such thing as absolute truth. But who taught you flat Earth?
I did.
You taught yourself flat Earth?
I just heard about it. Somebody, Eric Dubay's 200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Globe. I had never thought of the questions and the observations that may show the Earth could be flat. It never crossed my mind because I was only taught Earth is a globe. And then when you talk about flat Earth in school, they call it an ancient, dumb idea, and now we're just better for not teaching it. But that seems like a religion in my opinion, because I want to be able to tangibly prove it to myself. And if I have to rely on somebody else to tell me something, that kind of makes me hesitant, because I don't know what their motives are, you know, what they want me to do or think. That may actually make me make decisions in the future based on my foundation of believing the Earth is something that might not be.
So, like, the only reason that flat Earth really, like, made no sense to me is because apparently you can take a flight around the entire world.
Okay.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Evidently. You can take a flight, say, from one part of the equator to another destination, to another destination, to another destination, until you end up at the same spot.
Definitely. Yeah.
Why does that happen?
I can show you right here. You don't even have to buy the app.
I'm so curious, dude.
I appreciate it. See, on the app, you have all your questions.
Yeah.
Where's the edge? Where does the sun go? What's under flat Earth? Antarctic, 24 hours, and circumnavigation.
Yeah, that one.
Okay? And so, I can try to get it in the shade here. But what happens is, so we're right here in South America, and then we go to here, then we go to Australia, then we go to South Africa, and then we go back. So we just did that. We just circumnavigated a flat Earth. So it doesn't have to be a globe for you to go from point to point.
When they're flying, the mathematics tell them that they're flying in a straight line, not a curved line.
They are, yeah, because the quickest way between 2 points is a straight line, right?
But then...
So connecting flights, if you can do this yourself tonight, if you can remember, Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia. So just use you seem like an inquisitive guy. So these 2 points, how would you make a flight that's reasonable for human beings to travel?
You said straight.
Yep, so straight. Here to here. What would you do to make this the most easy flight for people to take?
Fly straight.
Yeah, show me.
Straight like
okay.
that.
Do you have just a straight, like, non-stop flight, or do you want to have, like, pick some people up in America?
No stop. Everybody jet lag.
Okay, right on. So then you just do that. Yeah, straight. There you go. Yeah. So is the Earth a globe, or is it flat?
Point. That's an interesting point.
Okay.
But what's up with time delays?
Time delays?
Yeah.
Like
when you go time zones and shit.
Yeah, I mean, time is just a concept that we've created to, know, like, oh crap, it's 5 o'clock, and I got to work in an hour. So it's kind of keeping us enslaved into this system that we live in.
Yeah.
Where, a lot of people would say that if you just kind of don't look at a watch and you just kind of look at the sun, and you just tarry along and you're making the intent to get your projects done, and you're focused, but you just don't look at the time, and you will get everything that you need done within the time that you set your intent out to do that day.
That makes sense.
Okay, and then so time change is just really right here, where the sun is traveling across our flat plane. And look at what it's doing. So watch the sun, and I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to show you how seasons work. See how the sun is going in closer to the center and further from the center.
It slowly spirals in and out.
Yeah, so right here I have it on May 30th, 2025.
Why does it spiral like that?
So what's happening is, in my opinion, there's a center mass that causes the positive sun to move around the North Pole, and then this is the negative, which is the moon, which goes around also the center. And so the Earth is stationary, not spinning, and it's the sun and the moon that we see moving because they move. That's what we see.
How do you explain the North and the South Pole?
And so when you have a compass, when you want to go south, what do?
Go south.
You go the opposite of north.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so if you go here and then you want to go north, you follow the north. Now you seem like a really interesting guy. If you do this and you're going north, what happens to your compass?
Hold up.
Okay, so if you're going this way.
On a regular compass, like my compass.
Yeah.
Going south would be going this way. South would be right here.
Yeah, I have a compass right here.
Would be like right over there.
Okay, so here's the compass for you.
Where's
So we have a compass,
the
and
South Pole?
the south is here. See, south, 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 south.
So
When you hold,
south.
yeah. So when you hold a compass, it points north, and that's here. So when you are traveling around the flat plane, you actually are doing this because your compass continues to point north. You see what I'm saying?
That makes sense because the map style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's
You're
how.
looking at the Earth from the top.
Yeah, and so is it okay if it could be like this?
Where is Antarctica?
Antarctica may or may not be the ring that surrounds our realm that we call Earth.
So Antarctica is a giant ring.
Could be. I haven't been able to investigate it. I would like to, but I would like to go to the North Pole. That's just me. I'm a flat earther, and I've always loved to go to. I want to go here. They always talk about Antarctica,
Yeah.
but they never mention the North Pole, and I want to go there. I would love to get some of my friends to go.
Kind of dope, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'd love to go there too. Might be a little cold. But
Yeah.
How about, but like Antarctica, people.
Yeah.
Like according to my quotes now, you have the North and the South Pole, and they're cold just because the way the sun shines around like this. And that's
Totally.
why they're cold because you don't get as much sunlight. But yours doesn't, like, from a globe style, you could see every detail of Antarctica apparently.
Oh, in my car, you can use that brown one.
Okay.
I think it's in my backpack in that battery spot.
Alright, I'm just gonna leave this here. So
Oh, Chris has one in the passenger seat on the floor.
yeah, you can see like the ice shelf and everything.
Yeah.
There's been like videos, you know
Right,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Of like big old fucking boats going through it and shit.
Yeah.
And according to, if we're taking a boat, you could probably go all the way around Antarctica
Definitely.
and see the landmass of it.
Yeah. So let's do an interesting thought experiment. Okay. Let's think of the globe,
Yeah.
and we go down and we go to Antarctica, and we want to keep Antarctica to our left the whole way. Does that make sense? We have the ice shelf, and we're about a few miles from it, but we can still see it if we use a telescope. And we want to keep it to our left, I said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this on a flat Earth. We're keeping it left.
Okay.
Okay?
But that
So-
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Here, keep going. Keep going.
So for example, if you were to know better that the Earth was a globe, and you were to do this, would you think that the circumference of this would be 60,000 miles? For example?
It would make sense that Antarctica would be fucking
Huge.
impossible to go around.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a massive trek. A guy named Captain Cook allegedly did it. And he said that he kept it to his left or his right. I can't remember which one. But he said that it was about 60,000 miles in circumference.
How long did it take?
I think it probably took him like 5 years, but don't quote me on that.
How do you survive?
These people are very advanced in their knowledge of sea travel and things like that.
Might be lost knowledge per se.
Per se, yeah. Let's even just say maybe hidden knowledge for people that are inquisitive and actually want to look into certain things, like secret societies, for example.
Then, with Antarctica, one more thing I'm gonna prove, then I gotta go.
Yeah, no worries,
But-
man.
Or not prove, just explain.
Yeah.
So like, say you're going around Antarctica, you're looking at it. You're like, matter of fact, I'm gonna just go straight into it.
Yeah,
And eventually, according to my globe, if you went straight onto Antarctica, traveled it, you would end up on the other side of the ocean.
yeah.
And then from that other side of the ocean, if you kept going straight, you'd reach a landmass that'd be on the other side.
Yeah. I can see your visual because I grew up in the exact same way you did.
Yeah.
Now let me give you, I'm really glad that you asked that because there was a guy named Captain Cook. His
Yeah,
name
you
is
told me.
Admiral Byrd.
Okay.
His name is Admiral Byrd, and in the mid-50s, he did exactly that.
Yeah.
And if you can look it up, it's BYRD, Admiral Richard Byrd. And type in Admiral Richard Byrd, Antarctica, and it'll show up. And he actually, allegedly, military, so take it for what it's worth, he said that when he did exactly what you did, he saw more land and resources than which we have, even, for example, America. And so what if they're hiding more land from us?
That's where they're hiding more land from us.
Could be. Maybe there is something on the other side of that ice shelf.
There might be. I mean, people have been on the surface of Antarctica. I don't know how far.
Who goes there? Do you happen to know?
Probably scientists, I'd imagine, because scientists like to know things and they go places. But
did you know that there's an Antarctic Treaty on Antarctica? So, like, if all of our buddies here at the skate park wanted to go to Antarctica because we had the resources, the boat, and the money and the fuel to do it, we couldn't do it up to a certain degree point.
I think we could do it with the right supplies just because it's cold as fuck.
There's an Antarctic Treaty, though, so you can't do that.
You can't do that.
No,
So
you can't
only
privately
certain
explore.
people are allowed to.
Only certain people, and then when you can go online and you can type in Antarctica travel or something like that, and you can pay like $10,000 to $20,000, $30,000 to go. And you don't do anything like that. You go to the Velvet Rope area and you go to the same spot that everybody goes, that they have decided that every normie can go to because it's basically like a national park or something. You can't just like go there and just...
Only certain parts?
Only certain parts. You can't just go... Well, it's dangerous, sure, but I mean, if I hired, like maybe 50 people who are experts at that type of weather, environment, and travel, I think I would be pretty good. I'd be pretty safe.
Yeah. Interesting idea.
Yeah.
Very interesting idea. In my head, so you believe maybe we can't go into the center or perhaps the beyond, as you would call it, of the Antarctica, just because
You gotta go pick those up because people are skateboarding.
they're protecting us from something.
Yeah.
Stay.
The hierarchy enslaving you.
Like government shit.
Yeah. People before us.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you were here 1,000 years ago and you had the money to propagate the idea that the Earth is a globe, and then once you didn't even have the technology, right? Let's just say you're teaching that the Earth is a globe, right? And then you go, and then in the late 60s, you have the technology, allegedly, to go to outer space, and then you found out it's flat. Would you tell people that you made a mistake and it's actually flat and not a globe?
Wait, so if I came up with the idea it was a globe,
And you didn't know.
outer space beyond the dome.
Yeah, and you were like, oh, those lights in the sky, that's a place we can go. So let's teach that. And we live in on a ball, and that's space. And yeah, it's space everywhere. Like we're all, okay, so yeah. So we must be, because we're in Australia, we must be upside down looking at the space this way when you're in Australia. And then when you're in America, you're looking at the space up here. And then you get the technology to go and find out.
Yeah.
And then you maybe hit a ceiling.
Maybe hit a ceiling.
Maybe, and then would you come back and tell everybody that you made a mistake and it's not a ball?
I would say, guys, I have no idea what the hell is going on.
So for some reason they're telling us something. And you seem like a nice guy. I feel like if I left my property here, you picked up my money that I dropped.
I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you seem, but what I would like to express is that don't put your good nature and your trusting spirit and project that out to other people and assume that they're you. Especially if you haven't met them before, like people before us.
I'm not going to berate you that the Earth is a globe, but if we're looking at this from like your terminology, my religion is that the Earth is a globe. That's my religion.
Because you were taught that.
Yeah, I was taught that.
Yeah. Did you ever prove it that it was a globe? Did you ever for example, have you ever been to another country? I think I heard you say.
I haven't been to another country.
Okay. Have you been out of South Carolina?
Oh yeah, no. I've traveled along the whole East Coast, been to California.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. And yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So America's all I really know. I have no actual evidence that Australia exists.
Yeah, they're all actors, right?
TV shows and family going, which I definitely prefer to trust them.
Yeah, and I mean, that would be reasonable, right? Wouldn't that be reasonable to trust people that you know personally that go to China and they came back and they had pictures and stuff like that? So, Ben, why then would you believe that the movie that they did about them landing on the moon then?
Oh, I thought that was bullshit.
Okay.
I don't know. Like the moon landing,
Yeah.
I can't speak on that.
Watch a video called Something Funny Happened on the Way to the Moon. It's a very interesting... What's about the moon landing? It's about the moon landing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a funny thing happened on the way to the moon, and that's how they faked, they show how they faked images of Earth from space.
Yeah.
You've been on a plane, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have too. So let's get on the plane, and let's pick a seat next to the window.
Yeah.
okay? And it's just me and you, and the lights are on, okay? We're gonna turn the lights off, so now it's pitch dark, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a transparency of the globe Earth that we've all grown up seeing, and we're gonna put that transparency on the window. And we're gonna darken out all of the other windows. And then you're told that you're, you know, 100,000 miles away from the Earth, and you put a camera on it, and then you film it, and you tell everybody else that you're 100,000 miles away from the Earth, and there's a transparency on the one window.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm confused. So
think about it.
People
think about it.
Are like making windows look like something false?
Yeah.
That's what people do in planes?
That's what people do on the moon landing.
Oh yeah, honestly, that makes sense for the moon landing. That's definitely what they could have done.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any other example, so I'm not trying to gaslight you about them CGI windows and you're not really flying where you're flying. I'm saying...
I would be open to believe or understand that might have been what happened.
Yeah.
Like, again, with the moon landing, like, I'm literally not going to say anything about it because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are going back and forth. I've seen the little videos of them bounce around there. It looks really weird.
Yeah.
It looks very weird.
Yeah, what about the ISS?
What's that again?
The International Space Station is the thing that's 252 miles from the ground and it goes like this around.
I couldn't really say shit about that either.
Yeah.
Well, so, like, I don't know if you've ever been kind of like stargazing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen little lights? So it's definitely not a plane because planes have a beeping light. You can see them going by. But just a singular light kind of slowly going. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what that is. It's a satellite. What would you explain those?
So satellites don't exist.
Okay.
Yeah. Satellites are high altitude balloons and things like that. And they are launched here on Earth and they're just filled with helium and they can stay up perpetually. And they just go with the jet stream that's higher than the airplanes that we can go on. So it's actually like 100,000 feet.
Kind of like the stratosphere.
Which is about 17 miles or so, maybe 20 miles or something like that. Okay, and so the blinking the light resonant that you see in the sky may just be that that part of the device.
It's like just
the single light. Yeah, it could just be a weather balloon, which is a satellite. Could be experimental something. In my opinion, it's not a UFO.
No, hell no.
And it's nothing like nothing to extent like that. But I've seen that too. I've actually seen in the late '90s. I was stargazing with some family, and I saw a light shoot like this, and it stopped, and it moved really slow, and we watched it for about 30 seconds, and then it shot off again.
Very fast?
I mean, yeah.
What do you think it was?
I don't know, man.
It's crazy. There's still some unknowns.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Therefore, that's kind of why.
Hey, brother.
I'm just like, I got
good to see you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot for listening. Yeah. No, you're good. All right. Oh, $5 on the ground. All right. Do you mind holding this stuff? Well, never mind. I'll just do this. All right. Shoot.
What's that? Some entertainment, some action.
Yeah.
For the live stream.
I wonder, I was thinking about playing some ODD or something.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Dickinson is asking, he says, please ask him his take on Joshua 10, 12, 14, John 3, 12, 2 Kings 23, 5.
Is that when stops the sun or something? I don't know those particular verses off the top of my head.
Oh, ask the skater too.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay.
About stopping the sun most likely.
Stopping the sun.
Yeah, well. All right,
So
everybody.
we improvised since it's windy.
Yeah.
That the little flat earth kept falling over.
Yeah.
So Zach was like, well, here, I'll do this. And he just started holding it up for the
Oh yeah, sorry.
traffic.
Yeah, traffic coming by.
It's a good idea for slow days when it's not busy. Just hit the cars.
All right.
Give cars out when there's stops.
Yep. All right, let's show everybody our setup over here.
Yeah, there's some percentage.
We're gonna drop this off.
Have you seen this?
This is the picture of
Georgia Floyd's land there. Here's the cop with the on there. Just like reference, they don't have to drop down like that yet.
Tom Buddhist. What's up, man?
All right,
He
so.
says, hi, Joshua.
Oh, I see what you did. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just. So, hey, you wanna talk about it? You got any questions you would like to ask a flat earther? All right, man.
What did he say?
They were just laughing. That's ridiculous.
I love one.
We got a bleeder! I'm gonna put this in here because just gonna keep that there. All right, let's
There's a little party trick you can do. Take this, hold it up.
Oh yeah, we're gonna show everybody what we were doing and laughing about so much the other night. We were gonna
Walk up to somebody.
I wish we would have been able to show Dave this. We didn't really come up to it, but you just basically fold the discs up like that, and it pops open. It's pretty funny. We had such a riot about it the other
The
night.
gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, it really is. So you can do it to other flatties. All right, so let's go check out what these guys are doing. How are they going to read all of the proofs that Earth is a globe or flat when people are driving by?
Well, we had one guy
I'm debating of whether or not to go get like a poster board and write on it cash giveaway.
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah. Do it. I don't know, you have a phone. Right? You gotta hold this up. Yeah, I mean, how come you guys moved it from over there? That was a pretty nice setup you had. Just looks, I don't know how people are gonna read the sign when they drive by so fast.
No, it's to make them, to make them realize that that sign is to invite you to come in here to read that sign, you see.
Fair enough.
But
And then you're gonna get cash giveaway?
When I put cash giveaway under there, I think that's gonna bring them in even more. Don't you think?
Yeah, no one was gathering around it when it was by the truck, so might as well bring it up here.
Yeah,
somebody
do
needs
it.
to stand outside so Elijah can come with me.
Yeah, somebody's gotta stand on the sign. So,
all right, come on, Elijah. I'll be right back.
Cause yeah, it's like a sail.
The sail, the flat earth sail.
Do you have any? Hey, do you got any rope or anything that we could tie the top middle to the rock or something, so you don't have to hold it?
He's got short legs for windy days.
Yeah, but then it's down low, low profile.
Yeah, but that's just to bring him in to see that. So
No, I'm saying tie the top and just tie it down here. I'm not saying like it's going to be so tight you're going to be dragging it to the ground. I'm just saying that it's going to be taut enough so that it's not going to blow this way.
Actually, that's not what's happening. When the wind catches it, the bottom kicks up. That's actually what's happening there. Yep.
Because the wind's coming this way.
The Earth's a flat, man.
Okay. Well. So where do you gonna just buy Alright. skate park. We're all meeting at the skate park, bro, on Tuesday, October 26th. It's about 5:20 Eastern Standard Time. Alright, so we'll see what happens. We're gonna go listen to this conversation. I'm gonna go give these guys some money.
But we have to put the mask on,
And then you
and we get to walk 10 feet, sit down, and then we have to take the mask off. That's not okay.
No, that's
and that makes no sense at all. That's called the annihilation of consciousness, right?
I'm following you here, bro.
So we need to think about what we do before we do it. We need to think about the kinds of thoughts that we are allowing into our minds, right? So when we turn on that tell a vision, it's tell a vision, right? TV on, television on, mind off. That's how it works.
That's how I want it to be.
There's a patent for the television that you can go and look up. And literally it talks about central nervous system manipulation through screen monitor.
That's fine.
And they have these fancy little diagrams where it shows like they use certain frequencies and colors and like vibration to put you in a trance-like state.
Wow.
So when you're in a trance-like state, you're more suggestive.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You can suggest little things subliminally.
Bombarded with the commercials from the CDC and
All is one now.
and
Undercover CIA.
Windows.
Consume.
Yeah.
Consume. Okay. Vaccine. Safe and effective. Safe and effective. The world is round. It's a globe. It's a ball. It's a spinning ball. We're fucking lost in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
No, we're not, dude. We're at the center of creation. And it's important.
Yeah.
You're important. You are fucking meaningful. He is meaningful. That's why he's so passionate about this.
Yeah.
You know?
Understand. Can I tell you something that made me really sad the other day? Sure, man. So my dad, the way he raised me was like, I don't even care about politics, but just do what you believe in and like make sure that you follow what you believe in. And he forever believed, I'm not gonna get the vaccine, that's some bullshit. Like, he was kind of a conspiracy theorist. He's a Facebook conspiracy theorist. You know, the 60-year-old guy that goes on Facebook and believes everything he sees.
Yeah, without even looking
at it. And then he married my stepmom. She's big lib. And for her birthday yesterday, she wished for his present to her was something she wanted more than anything in the entire world. It was for him to get the vaccine.
No way.
Are
Yeah.
you serious?
They told me that while we were at breakfast. I was like, what are you talking about, shit? Some
He
got it.
He got it because she wanted him
molded by this woman.
He was just telling me about the kind of pressure, the coercion he was under, and why he took both shots.
Yeah.
It wasn't because he was afraid of something. It was because he wanted to do shit.
Yeah, we'll go out and live your normal life.
That's why we're out here, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're out here, is to get you to think maybe you go home, rally up a few people, and then next thing you know, you're an activist or something when you can. You know, not everybody has the time to do what we do.
Yeah.
We don't even really have that kind of time sometimes, you know?
Yeah, do y'all have day jobs?
I did until they forced me to get the shot, and now I'm like, you know, wandering aimlessly, but I have purpose in my life now, so.
Do you get any money from that?
Very little. We ask for support, but I mean, it's very, very hard, especially when you start talking about this truth.
Yeah.
It's so polarizing and stigmatized that people in the, I call it seeking truth community, they stigmatize us bad. So
that's a bad thing, the seeking truth.
Seeking truth of this truth.
Yeah.
People can ask questions about Bigfoot and UFO and aliens and things we could never prove.
Yeah.
When we start asking questions about the Earth, and it's a non-starter because it's so stigmatized. So people self-censor, even people that might think it is flat, or like, again, I'm not making any claims. I'm saying what they told us is bullshit, and everything that we can observe shows that it's flat.
Yeah.
We don't know what's on the outer edges, and we don't know what's above us.
Okay.
And that's pretty much where I'm at, personally.
Yeah. Understandable. That's understandable.
So,
I just think, is it worth changing my mind on that one thing? It doesn't change anything else big in my life to believe that it's flat around.
Can I give you an analogy?
Yeah.
So let's say like you're, for example, 20 years old, right? And your parents bring you into the room, or you guys sit down in the living room and they got some drinks and it's all just really nice. And they're kind of really being nice to you. And you're just like, huh, like being really nice to me right now.
Yeah, something's weird.
Something's going on. And they sit you down and they're like, son, we just want to let you know that you're adopted.
Shit.
Yeah. Would that matter?
I'd be pretty pissed off. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That would matter.
Why would you? Why would it matter?
Because that changes my whole perception of my childhood with my parents being my actual parents, and that's a maternal-paternal bond that I have with them that's just like broken now.
Yeah.
If I'm not actually their child.
What
that's
kind of
significant to me, but looking at the shape of the earth isn't that significant.
I haven't said anything about that. I'm just
I see
asking
where
you.
you're going, though.
But so, what kind of questions would you come up with?
Why didn't you tell me? Why you lied to me, bro?
Why did you lie?
Why did you lie to me?
Yeah. And then you're gonna be like, are my real parents still alive? Did they abandon me? Did they not love me? Why? Why would they do? And why would they take so long to tell me? Like they didn't think I was 12 years old and they didn't tell me. I'm 18. I'm an adult. You would think that then they would tell me, and then they finally tell you. But it would be maybe because you just weren't ready to know and understand and have that in your realization and have self-actualization at that time. And so did they do it to spare your feelings, or did they know just like not how to bring it up and explain it to you because it might change who you are now, right? In the past. And so knowing that, at least you know though. At least you know. And that's really what it's all about, is to be able to know something, whether it's both sides of the story, but to have a choice, to choose based on the given information. But if information is withheld from you, you really don't have a choice. Right? So, yeah, and so since you read my mind, you know, we grow up in a home that we think is our home, Earth, globe, ball floating in outer space. And then I was told that I was adopted. Hey, bro, that's not your home, actually. The globe is not your home. It's actually the complete opposite, right, of what we were teaching you. Get what I'm saying? And so we're human beings. We're not animals. You know, we're not any. We have rationale. We have a conscience. We have feelings, right? And we have a connectivity to this place. Whatever that is. I don't know what it is, but I feel like this everywhere is my home. And to see masks on the ground everywhere I go, that pisses me off a lot. You know? And so I treat this place like it is my home, and I try to pick up as many masks off the ground as I can. Because it's my home. And it's not when I get home to Minneapolis and I go close my door and I make sure all my stuff is tidy, neat, and ready to go. No, I take that outside, and I also do that outside here, because this is my home. And so I do feel like there is a type of connectivity that we have to this place that when you do say the earth is a globe, people are like, no, bro, this is my home. This is my biological home. And then for somebody to come in and say, no, bro, you're adopted. Well, why would they lie? Well, why would they lie and not tell you that you're adopted until you're 30 years old?
Yeah.
Not that I'm right. I'm just trying to give you an analogy because we can reason with each other, you know? Yeah.
So you're all both separate YouTubers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me get on y'all's YouTube real quick.
Yeah, sure. Do it.
And if you can, don't post any clips with any of this in it. I don't want that out on the internet.
I don't even think you got to that.
Okay.
But yeah, mine is. Do you mind?
You go ahead.
Thanks.
Type it in. I have that card. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm gonna get that out. I'm gonna give you these dollars back.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
No, keep it. No,
Okay.
seriously. Just go buy a Chick-fil-A or something.
Okay. Thanks.
No worries.
Maybe I'll get the app. We'll see.
Up to you. Think about it, man. You know.
Go.
And then get the app.
Yeah.
Do you have
a video?
Where y'all are from? Is weed legal?
In Minneapolis?
Yeah,
No. I mean, it's been decriminalized. You know.
Massachusetts has been legalized. You can buy it recreationally now, but I'm living in Charlotte, North Carolina, so
probably still.
Over in Asheville,
still.
Asheville's very relaxed on their rules about marijuana, but
not about
Charlotte.
COVID.
No, they're very strict on that shit. Dude, I was
just there last Saturday, and it's not pretty up in Asheville.
I was lucky enough.
She told me that they still have a 10 p.m. curfew.
You find it?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So that's my 360 videos.
Okay.
Sebastian Durden, and then the Authentic Intent Archive is all my flat Earth stuff that I did from 2017 until 2019 before COVID. Because I used my original flat Earth channel and I started talking about COVID, and they removed it because of misinformation. Because you can't take vitamin C, keep yourself healthy. You know, you're not allowed to take natural remedies. You know.
They don't like that.
No. Yeah.
That's why I try to tell
Yeah,
my
man.
parents that. I'm like.
So. Well, it was great talking to you again, man.
You too, man.
Yeah, you too.
Appreciate your
Take care, man.
perspective.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate yours too, man.
Why'd y'all come specifically here?
For that event right here on his shirt.
Flattoberfest?
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
happening like here?
It did, yeah.
It already
Over
happened?
the weekend. Yeah.
Like, it was in Spartanburg?
Yeah, it was, you know,
Spartanburg, Marriott.
Okay.
yeah, that's where everybody's
Going in to get out is my channel.
here in town, yeah. So it's about
Subscribers there, brother.
20 minutes away.
New World Order.
Oh, dude, it's bad. Yeah, there's.
I'm going to watch all these videos.
Yeah, dude.
Cool, man.
That's a long one though.
What was yeah, I mean,
Podcasts.
there's some podcasts in there that are pretty long. I mean,
So you live in Massachusetts?
not anymore.
It's called Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
Dude, let me tell you.
What was your name?
Caleb.
Caleb?
Yeah.
Andy.
Nice to meet you,
Gerard.
Andy.
Real nice to meet you.
Seth.
Seth? Andy Gerard. Real nice to meet you.
Good
guys.
talking to you.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Keep
enjoy.
in touch, man. Reach out on YouTube. Connect with me.
Yeah, I'm sure you go here a lot,
Let me
right?
know when you go flat.
Wake me up, brother.
Yeah, tell all your friends too. I mean, you know.
when you get flat.
Tell-
I'm not that far, man. I'll come down and we'll do some activism. We'll get you guys out here.
I got you.
Helios is another name for the same guy. So heliocentric model, putting Helios at the center of everything. That was one of the reasons for that. That was one of the goals. They want to honor the sun god. They want to put Helios at the center, but it's totally against scripture. You know? Copernicus
What
helped
up,
the
dude?
Catholic Church.
Where's oh, there's a couple guys out there.
Yeah.
Anybody stopping?
I don't know.
Okay, so how do we break out of this dome?
Break out of it?
Yeah.
Well, you saw it on The Simpsons.
In the Bible, they built the Tower of Babel,
Alright.
but God destroyed the Tower of Babel, right? You
Okay.
know that story?
So-
Because he wouldn't let them go to heaven. And it's foolish of us to really think that today that we're going to go to heaven, you know, and break through the dome.
Alright. So you're saying heaven is above this dome. That we are trapped inside.
Well, that's what Scripture teaches. That's what Scripture
Okay, but how do we break out of this dome? Is it possible? Because what is outside of this dome? Is it space? Are there other planets? Are there
It's probably going to
galaxies?
happen in the last days of the end times. It says that heaven will be rolled back like a scroll. It says in the book of Revelation, it says that. It says great hail will fall as one of the last plagues, very possibly chunks of the front of it breaking off. It says every eye will see him.
Every eye. Australia, we just
Every
look
eye.
that far and we see Australia.
Yeah,
If we
every
could
eye will
possibly
see
see it.
Okay, so what about a country in the round world society? What about a country on the other side? So if we were to take a picture, if we were to go up into space, but we can't necessarily go into space because I'm going with you guys. There's a dome, right? So we can't necessarily go into space, or we can't go to the moon and take a picture of the Earth. But in the round world society, we can. So what about the pictures taken from the moon to the Earth? We can only see a couple of countries, continents. We can't see China if we're taking pictures because it's on the Earth.
That's what's called composites. It's where they take a picture, take a picture, take a picture, take a picture,
like a panorama,
stitch it all together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what they do with those, they wrap them around the ball. They wrap those pictures around the ball to make us think it's a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a lot of those questions like that?
I'm just having fun asking you guys
Yeah.
questions and learning more.
Really,
No, for sure. Yeah, can
Oh, if you get this QR code here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
No, I'm just saying, like, here you go. Here's some money in the app to help you buy. You don't want to take any money?
I can't take money, no. I'm only here because, like, I want to learn more.
Okay.
In
So can I give you this
world,
then?
Everybody is so conceited and they don't want to actually open up to other possibilities.
Yeah.
And so, am I probably going to change my views? No. But am I so excited to learn about other people's views? Yes. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
here we go. There's an app that you can download. It's $3
Okay.
to download. And then it's got all of the questions that you would ask for. So, you know, for example, I have the app here on this pad here. And, you know, like what you were saying, outer space and stuff. Let me just...
I've never seen the app, so I don't put it on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
it's
get going,
amazing.
man. I'm Trevor.
Oh, man.
I live in Greenville next
Oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in, like, Boiling Springs. I'm a local.
So, I'm around, man. But I
Josh,
gotta
are you
get
heading
going.
out?
Yeah.
All right, it was great talking to you.
All right, take care. Love you, bro.
Yeah, I learned a few cues.
So here you go. On that app, you download it, and then in the corner, the bottom left corner here, once it'll figure out, then it wants to, see there? This is a daily video.
Oh, nice.
And then each day for the next 7 days, watch this 5-minute video, and it'll probably help the gears start turning a little bit for you.
Cool.
And there's on the right side of the app, there's a question mark. It depends upon which device it's on, but it's in this little group here. Press the question mark, and you're like, okay, Flatty, where's the edge? And then when you hit where's the edge, it'll bring you right to YouTube's, and then it will give you about a dozen or so videos that will be in relation to that specific question. And so, depending upon which question it is, you'll have more or you'll have less, but you know, that'll help you answer any of your questions that you have in regards to that. And I love to show people this visual that this is what the sun would be doing across a flat plane. So the center is the North Pole, and then the sun and the moon travel around the Earth, and the Earth is stationary and firm and immovable.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
biblical.
Because there are pillars, like you said, on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore it's unable to move because these pillars don't move with it. The Earth is stationary.
There are 5 Bible verses that say the earth shall not be moved, the earth cannot be moved, the earth is on pillars and shall not be moved. I mean, shall not be moved.
what about Joshua when he stopped at the sun? Did he stop the entire universe?
If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I have not read the Bible ever
Sure.
in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm learning everything that you guys are teaching me, and I'm bringing it in, and I'm enjoying it because I'm learning about something I never knew about.
Yeah.
So I'm having fun.
Right on.
But
yeah.
I can't be like, oh yeah, I know that part because I just don't.
No, I know, and that's cool, and that's good to know. And
You're
there's
one of the sharpest guys we've run into.
Yeah.
So you and
yeah, there's a lot of sharp skaters.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, and I totally hear what you're saying, and that's actually a story in the book of Joshua, and he stops the sun in the sky. So think about that, just as it being a story.
Okay.
Okay, so if we're taught the earth is a globe, right, and you read the Bible and then it says that he stopped the sun, then technically he would have to stop the entire universe, right? Because of gravity and everything else and things of that nature. So eventually, like, there would be total chaos if the sun stopped. Well, then everything would have to stop, right? So with this perception and this type of viewpoint, wouldn't it make more sense to just go like that? Okay, you stop the sun. The Earth is still here. It's stationary, but look, the sun's right there. It stopped. But then, you know, so in typical, and then, okay, there it goes. It's moving. Joshua says the sun stopped. Boom. The sun stopped.
And he made the sundial move backwards in one of the verses. Yeah.
Okay. I get what you're saying. So basically, it was easier for him
in your terms. Because if the Earth was
Impossible
round,
in the other.
exactly.
Yes.
So that's a big argument for you guys. If the
I don't
Earth
use
is
that very
round-
often. I actually just brought that up with you the first time. But
Got
yeah,
you. Okay.
Yeah.
But you were on your blue marble
Yeah.
shots.
Yep.
The land is completely different in every one of these blue marbles that they put out.
Well, is that because the Earth rotates?
It's the same size. It has to be the same size. Because these are all the same size blue marbles.
Yes.
And by the way, there's no photos ever taken of Earth from space. They are all called images from NASA, which means CGI.
They can't legally call them photographs because they're not. They're images.
Image. NASA's very careful about using the word image.
So you're saying that so the so-called pictures that they take aren't actually pictures; they're just representations.
Robert Simon, I don't think I can find it, but Robert Simon admitted that he is the graphic artist that is responsible. He's called Mr. Blue Marble, and he's the guy that put together all these blue marbles. And he said, and he says over and over, he said, you know, I use Photoshop, but you have to use Photoshop to do this.
Yeah.
Because it has to be Photoshop. Robert Simon, you just look him up.
You know what's great about this app too is like I was showing you about the questions. So what he's talking about is right here.
I'm sure that's.
Yeah, what about pictures of Earth from space? And so you click on the image and then you'll be given a whole list of how they create the blue marble that we were taught, we believe, and we were shown in those science books that we grew up watching. And so when the internet decides to work and upload those, there'll be a list, and that video that he's talking about is on the very top, and it's ODD TV 21 questions.
Okay.
And there's a section cut out of that point where he explains that, and then it just helps your gears turn a little bit.
Gotcha.
You know?
All right. Yeah, I think the app is really cool, and I'll definitely have to check it out. But
the Flat Earth Society was done for an information purposes, and I'll just say the CIA, for a lack of who did it, probably set it up so that they have a way of sending people to some place where they will never find anything. It's like throwing them in a wastebasket. They'll never find Flat Earth. What Google does now is, back in 2015 and 2016, YouTube would just throw us Flat Earth stuff. Eric Dubay, did some of the finest videos. Eric Dubay, that was thrown at me. Then Mark Sargent, that was thrown at me. All of this stuff, none of the Flat Earth Society was thrown at me. And you could go there, but it was not given to me by Google.
Yeah.
Now, after 2017, they send you never to information. Never. It's to the debunkers. And you go there and it's 200 deep. So if you go to one, the next one is worse, and the next one is worse. And it's all Flat Earth Society stuff. You can, unless you know and have one of these apps, you know, where you can go in like to this. He goes around it and goes right to the video. And that's how important that app is. I would give that app to everyone on Earth if I could possibly do it, and I can't put it on my phone because it's too old. So I love this that he's got it.
Yep.
That is. He was here with us. This is a national conference from. They're here from California. They're from all over the states. 350 guys, right? Come here to meet each other, and I'll tell you what. These guys, every one of these guys is my brother. There's, like, think of that term soulmate. I mean, this is how close we are, you know? Because we go into a conversation with each other, and we can just use symbols. We can almost go like this, you know what I mean?
I see what you're talking about, yeah.
So all they're doing is just scanning a flat plane with a high altitude airplane or weather balloon or whatever, and then they composite it. They use a artist. It's an actual department in NASA, is artistry. And so those images that we see on National Geographic, those are all done by a computer. And all they're doing is collecting data from high altitude balloons of the Earth And when they say, oh, well, this is Mars or Jupiter, well, they're getting the resonant frequency light from whatever they have up really high. And let's say you ever do like the number paint when you were younger, so 1 is red, 2 is blue, things like that, and then all the different numbers are on the image, and you fill out the correct numbers with the colors, and then you have your colorful image. And that's really what they're doing with the globe Earth.
Okay, so I have another question about the, I forgot what it was, the plasma covering, right? The sun is
probably under it.
The sun is outside of this giant, like, sphere, so the cage, right?
Well, we have models that we research.
Okay, so but in your standpoint, the Earth is flat.
Oh no!
And there's a giant dome, right?
The model is the sun is underneath it.
The sun is
in our sky.
Oh, okay. So it's not outside of the dome.
It's within the firmament.
We don't know how it's created so that it looks like it's in there. It could be created outside somehow, but
it could be there's a light, a grand light that lights up the entire Earth, but the light that we see, the sun that we see, is just the physical manifestation of the greater light behind the sun that we see.
So it could necessarily not be a sun, but something else, and people want you to think it's the sun?
So well, it certainly isn't a thing with nuclear explosions on
No.
it. It's no way, none.
Think about what I just said though in the religious biblical sense. There's a greater light behind the sun that we see. See what I'm saying? So Yah is the greater light that creates the light that we see, which is the sun.
I think I get what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that is a possibility.
So my proof for the Earth is a globe is that when the sun, have you ever been to the ocean before? And the sun is further, in my opinion, the sun is just traveling further away from you. So then it's going to go over Africa and things like that. So the sun is parallel with the ground and the sun is just moving away, and that's perspective. So it appears that it's setting and appears that it's becoming lower and disappearing under the horizon. But really what it's doing is just traveling further away from you, okay? I got you still?
I got you.
Okay,
But-
so hold on.
Okay.
When the sun, let's even say an hour from now, the sun is going to be below those trees, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're on the ocean and all three of us are at the beach and we see that light come all the way up to our feet, you have your ray of light, I have mine, and he has his. Get that? That's on a flat surface of water, and if that's on a curved surface, that light would only come up halfway where that divot starts, the bulge, if you will. You want to call it a bulge. So the sun
So it would cast a
is
shadow.
walking. The sun, yeah, it would cast a shadow on the side that the sun isn't reflecting, right? Because it's not on the up. But it doesn't do that, right? It comes all the way up to your feet.
You're saying the sun, okay, so you're saying if the Earth was round, right? And the sun sets or it goes away, it's further away.
Yeah.
There should be a shadow slowly rising up us. Because if the sun, if the Earth was round and the sun was truly setting, it would set below and all of a sudden there would be a shadow coming up.
That's a very good, interesting perspective.
And then go above you, right?
So you do
Because it's
kind of,
blocking
yeah.
out.
I've never caught that before.
But that's interesting. But how about this though? The bulge would be the water, and then the sun. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. So you kind of got it. So because water is flat and level when at rest, that sun ray starts from its very point that is further away, and it comes all the way hundreds of miles, all the way up to your feet. That's the sun walking on water.
Okay.
And the reason we know that perspective issue exists is the next time you got a lot of clouds, just a cloud here, a cloud there, right? Next time you see that, you probably haven't noticed it, or maybe not. And you'll see the cloud right over your head, and all the other clouds are probably pretty much the same size, right? And you look at the horizon, and the clouds are sitting right on the horizon. So that is this perspective level. And that's the same line the sun travels. And the other place you'll see it, that I've seen it, is when you watch balloons. Hot air balloons go up, and it's a rally, and they go right to the horizon, because once they get about, what would you say, 30 miles away? I think it's 30 miles, that they'll hit the horizon. and they'll be smaller, of course. And the smallest balloon will be sitting right on the horizon. The top ones, you take a picture of them when they're right overhead. They're full size. And then they go down to nothing. That is the sun setting. That's actually what's going on, except for one thing. There's a little thing that happens on the flat Earth that doesn't happen on the globe, and that is that it has to go from here to north of Oklahoma, we'll say. It has to go, when it leaves us, we'll see the sunset, and it has to go to Oklahoma because it has to turn right to go to the next people around the North Star, right? In that path, that circular path that is prescribed by a radius from the North Star, right? So, you have to kind of watch this because you will line up with some telephone poles and watch the sunset sometime, and you'll see just line them up and what you think west is, and then watch. And they'll start going to that side of the telephone poles, and they'll be going north.
Okay.
However you can line it up.
All right.
And you'll see, that can't happen on the globe Earth. I don't believe.
Okay, so here is my
Because
other
on a globe Earth, the Earth is turning, right? Mm-hmm. And the sun is just sitting right in one spot. But the globe Earth is turning like this. So there's no curve that it's ever going to. It's just a spinning globe at Mach 1.3 fighter jet speed, right? Mm-hmm. We're going so fast that if that Earth would stop, we would be dead instantaneously.
Yes.
Mach 1.3.
Because we'd fly off, right?
Yeah. We'd fly into it. I can't even imagine the thing. Ugh, horrible.
Okay, so here's my question. Here, I'm gonna put my phone down. So the Earth is flat. In your representation on your app, the sun goes around like this.
Yes.
Does it ever cross the middle?
Why would it?
Exactly. So, with your representation, if the sun was going around right here, the people in the middle of the world would never have the sun directly above them.
Alaska, you mean?
Well, anybody that was in the middle of the world. So it really depends on...
They have midnight sun in Alaska, so it is there.
But it would never go over them, right?
Yes, and would stay over them all 24 hours.
Okay, so in your flat Earth map, who is directly in the middle?
The North Pole.
The North Pole.
Yeah.
And then everything branches out from that.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, you're taking a round globe and
flattening it.
No.
Or did they take a flat map like this and turn it into a globe?
That's actually what happened.
Mm-hmm. See how flights work? That's a flight on the globe, and that's a flight on flat. What's more reasonable? This?
You think Delta Airlines is going to spend money to go up here if they don't have any passengers up here, and then go down there because their flight path goes that way? Spend all that fuel?
Well, then why would they stop in the middle? Why couldn't they
connecting
just go
flights.
straight?
Well, they actually do have flights here that go to Los Angeles and everything, but they're right on the way, so they're not wasting fuel. They're not doing that ridiculous thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you're saying with the whole airplane situation, it would make a lot more sense if the Earth was flat.
It only makes sense because all the curves are then straight. All the flights go, NASA controls all flights, by the way. Every flight is controlled by NASA so that nobody can ever try to go under the Antarctica, right?
Okay.
Because you can't. You'll hit the dome.
All right.
So you will never, unequivocal, you will never see a flight go around the globe, north to south. Never. They go pretty close to the North Pole, though. They kind of just go near it. They can't even go near it at the South Pole because there is no South Pole. There's no such thing.
So, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, if the whole Flat Earth Society was to save up money and buy an airplane.
Yeah, don't use that term, please.
Wait, I'm sorry. What term do I use?
Flat Earth Society.
Don't use that term?
That's the disinformation site that you don't want to send anyone to.
Okay, which one do I use?
Knowledgeable flat people, flat Earth
flat people? Flat earthers?
We call flatties, we're called all sorts of things.
Well, I mean, I don't know, that kind of seems contradictory.
Knowledgeable
you know
people.
What I mean?
We're called truthers.
Okay, I'll
use that term.
Truthers.
Yes.
Truthers, okay. So
because I'm going to tell you did I tell you about opening the Flat Earth book? Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I think whenever we first started talking.
Okay. When you open the Flat Earth book, you're just looking into Flat Earth. But when you really open that book and go into it, you sort of once you see the Flat Earth and you see it is true, then you start to look into 9/11 and things like that, because you don't trust them anymore because a bunch of Nazis did this.
Yep.
And you start to say, what about that shooting in Aurora, Colorado? What about that Sandy Hook thing, and all this? You start to see all the misinformation there. Then you start, all of a sudden, you become not a flat earther. That's the term, a flat earther, right? But you become a truther.
Or globe skeptic.
A globe skeptic, yeah. And all those terms, but a truther is really what you become. Let's say a few years after you've looked into flat earth and found out that it's true, then you sort of become a truther because you start looking into all the other vaccines, these kind of things.
So what if all the truthers came together, bought an airplane, right?
See it?
Bought an airplane.
Okay.
And they just took it and they said, you know what? Screw it. We're going to go find the edge of the earth.
Hmm.
What would happen? Has that happened before?
Which edge?
Antarctica?
Any edge. Because if let's say they
There's only
started
one
directly in the middle.
It's the circle.
It's the circle, right? So you're saying there's a giant ice wall around everything that's holding in the water.
Yep.
What would happen if we took an airplane and we flew straight in any direction? So if we started over here, we flew straight.
It's called south.
If we started over here and we flew halfway across the earth, it would be straight, right?
Yep.
We just flew, right? We didn't change our course, so we didn't go around like this. We just went completely straight.
Yeah.
What would be fine?
You would crash.
You would crash. Okay, but
why would you crash?
Flights before that haven't.
Because, at least in our belief, you're going to run into the dome.
Well, I don't think that.
What?
I don't think that. I think that I can only speak for myself.
Yeah,
I don't say we, everybody, or anything. I can only speak for myself. I think that the ground and the sky go on infinitely forever, parallel with each other. The ground and the sky go on parallel with each other forever and ever. It's up to us to discover more. I've never knocked on the dome wall. Right. I've never done anything like that.
A theory. This is
so I've never seen the ice wall of Antarctica. I've never seen any of that. I can't.
Wait, so you're saying that you're not necessarily with this whole ice wall?
No, I mean there's ice shelves, but I've only seen pictures of certain areas. I haven't seen all 60,000 miles in circumference of the ice wall. I've never kept my boat on my right side and done this. Right. Mm-hmm. I've never got a boat and done this on my left side and done that.
Okay,
so to say that this is an entire ice shelf holding all the water in, I don't agree with that.
In your
personally.
view, you're saying that this is actually this.
Yeah, that's just a piece of paper, and I only have so much money. I can't print a piece of paper that's as big as the Earth to show you the map of the Earth.
Got you.
Yeah.
Most flat earthers that are biblical would assume that it's terrarium style.
That is this.
Yes.
That is like it's like a terrarium. You know what a terrarium is? Mm-hmm. Right? You put a little bit of water in it, and then it can
have some edge, which means it would still have some stopping point, which means that it wouldn't be infinite.
I don't think that though.
But you're saying
I'm not.
That model is not accurate.
But I'm not prescribing to any model per se.
You're just kind of saying.
Can I just brainstorm and think like it could be either or, but I haven't proven either, so I just share both. At least I'm sharing both, and I don't say, there's a dome, it's not infinite. That's dogmatic, and that's you're doing the same thing that you're trying to get people to stop thinking about the globe, because the globe is dogmatic.
And I've heard that this trip, so I'm open to that belief too, because of the sextant needing to work on a surface that is flat. And the sextant only works for the flat Earth, by the way. The sextant, that's how they did navigation in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, the Earth has to be flat for the sextant to work. But what I found out is some people believe that the sky also has to be flat, and I thought about that, and I think it's kind of true. So I'm adjusting my model a little bit this trip.
But at least that can be tangible. You know what I mean? Like we can work on things that we can tangibly do. Like I can't go to Mars. Right? I can't tangibly go to outer space and prove the government right or wrong and verify that they landed on the moon. I can't do that independently. I have to take their word for it. That's basically what they're asking people to do. Take our word for it, trust us. And if you don't, then we get to call you names.
Okay, but
that seems ridiculous.
But the ice wall,
with the government. And SpaceX
Yes, it is.
has launched.
Yes, it is. They get
Well,
money
not
from the
necessarily.
government. They get money from NASA all the time.
But are they with NASA?
Yes, they are. They get money from them. If they get money from them, then how is it that they're not with them? That doesn't make any sense.
If you get money from a stranger like you were trying
Regularly,
to get, does that mean I'm
regularly. If I gave you $50 a week, aren't I supporting you?
You would support me, but I wouldn't say I'm with you.
But I'm supporting you, so I support what you do.
But then you can also talk into stocks. You can also say, I'm doing it for my own benefit. I'm going to give you $50 a month until you make $200,000 and I want $100,000. And the guy's going to be like, okay, cool, I'm getting $50 a month, that'll help my business, right? But whenever he hits that $200,000 mark, the guy takes all of his money. That's the only reason he was there. He doesn't want the business to fail, because if the business fails, then he never gets his $100,000. You know what I mean? So he wants the business to work, but he's only doing it because he wants his money.
Sounds like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
So they're not really doing it because they're helping propagate the idea that, oh, it's not just NASA, it's other private entities. Like, that's gatekeeping, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know, that's basically saying like, oh no, NASA's a fraud, but SpaceX, but Blue Origin, but we were supposed to go to the moon in 2 years. Now they delayed it again. We were supposed to go to the moon again, and they delayed it. So it keeps getting delayed. The reason why it gets delayed is because we can't go there and land things on it.
And they can't fake it with 4K cameras.
Yeah, we know the fakery now. We understand what Photoshop is now.
Those were CinemaScope. That was, or a cinema, I forget the term. And, but they were, you know, the resolution of the TV, that the media was allowed to film a TV set, right? That's where they got their pictures. And we saw this grainy thing, it was horrible, right? They got away with it. There was probably less than 40 people that believed that, you know, that they went there. You know, 40% rather. So, you know, try to fake it with 4K cameras where you see eyelashes and all the pores of people's faces, and try to put, you know, and then try to fake the background, which we can see all of the fakery, you know, going on. You can see where the horizon comes and meets the carpet they used, whatever it was, cement, we believe. They threw cement all over the place to make it gray. They already told us the moon was gray, right? Kind of a gray look to it, right?
Or green screens.
Green. Well,
augmented reality.
Like
you know,
VR.
yeah, like when you watch super simple example. Green screen is the weather. When you watch the weather during the day on TV, they are standing in front of a green screen, which is green to them. They have to look off to the side or in front of them, and there's a monitor of the screen on the monitor.
Yes.
Right?
That's how they know where to point.
Yeah, right, exactly. You. Yeah. And so they do that also on the ISS when they're doing their magic tricks for children. And so
little things, that's not one of them, but they'll have a little ball in the air, and it's on another layer, if you know how Premiere works and all these. Yeah. And then all of a sudden,
chroma key.
The layer would glitch out and things like that. But we've seen this place where they photographed this stuff.
Do you ever work at Best Buy?
Have I worked?
Yeah. Have you ever worked with like electronics?
Like sometimes.
Do you have like video games or PS5 or things like that? Okay. For me, I have all that stuff too, and I wouldn't do this. This is ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Like, sort your cables out, bro. You know, like, put your cables tightly away. Have you ever seen the inside of a submarine? Compare a submarine interior to this. Which looks more professional?
The submarine. But does that mean that's still fake?
In my opinion, yes, because there's multiple times that astronauts say how important it is for water not to get into the electronics, yet they mess around with water all the time.
It floats all around.
It floats all around. Like, I mean, they can say things and the people believe them because they're authority. They're these guys, they're military. But these guys are super high-level secretive military that they sign NDAs. And they lie intentionally. They know they're lying. It's not like plausible deniability and be like, I didn't know that was, somebody's skateboard or whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't know, right?
Okay, but if your car is messy, does that mean it's not real?
No, what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that it's not real. What I'm saying is the time that it would take to actually make this look and appear real, they didn't do that. Like, they're leaving people little hints that this is ridiculous. And we just accept that this is how things are. But no electrician would ever do this. Nobody would ever put something together like that.
And all the things that are outside don't belong outside. So there'll be something that they have to fix on a spacewalk. So now they got somebody, and they do that at Houston underwater, right?
They have a life-size ISS in a pool.
And the background is green screen.
Yeah.
The whole background is green screen.
So imagine he's the captain of a submarine, and I'm the first mate, and you're some guy that does our fixing for us. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Carter.
Carter? Hey, I'm Joshua. Hey, Private Carter, I got orders from the captain. He wants you to go outside of the submarine and screw some bolts.
Nice. Yeah.
Carter, you ready to go? We got a suit. We have, it's pressure out there, right? So are you going to trust the suit is going to keep the weight and the pressure of the ocean from crushing you?
But do people go outside of submarines?
Not at 6 miles below water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so
can people float around in outer space without dying?
No, they can't, because it's a vacuum, and there's no suit that has ever been tested to show that it can help with a negative vacuum of a 101% vacuum.
Well, hang on. Well, then, why are there spacesuits? And you're saying that
to make
spacewalks are completely fake.
To make you believe it.
Because of Buck Rogers had a spacesuit.
Science fiction.
Basically, it's of the old cartoons, the old comic books. Whatever they had, that's what they used. That's where satellites were dreamed up, was on a science fiction. Arthur C. Clarke.
All right.
Yeah, the spacesuits are just like a veneer to they have to do something to make you believe it. And each generation has what it needs and takes to be deceived at that time. Like the technology, the type of information out there, the propaganda, some of the truth that's out there. Because the best part about lying to somebody is by giving them some truth. Because then in your heart, you don't feel like you're deliberately lying. So you can kind of like, I'm just a white lie, right? But funny thing about psychology is that most people don't like it when they get lied to, even a white lie. But then they'll white lie to everybody else. They'll lie to everybody else and think that that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we have to do is investigate what is reasonable and what isn't, and then try to determine it from the information that we're given. And like we were saying, the information that we're given is to be globe skeptic and not to be so firm that you live on a globe. Not that you're saying you're flat, because there's a lot of stigma to that, right? There's a lot of stigma to right? Just like getting the jab. People get the jab because I need to go see my mom. I got to get the jab so I can continue to work. You don't pay my bills. You don't pay my bills, so I got to go get it so I can continue my job.
Got you. Okay. I'm going to ask one more question.
Yeah, dude.
And then I'll leave you guys
Yeah,
alone.
go ahead.
This has been an amazing talk, by the way.
I appreciate
This
it.
is awesome.
Carter?
This is really fun.
But back to the ice wall, there is a 200-foot wall.
There is something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the ocean's border.
The last question. What is the purpose of everything?
Oh,
With
wow.
all the
42.
big lies,
42.
everything. What is the purpose of it? What is the government trying to make the people believe? That the Earth is round, right? But what is the whole purpose? What's the trouble? Why can't they just tell them the Earth is flat?
Because Copernicus, they had Copernicus do this, right? That's where it all started in the 1500s. Before that, everyone believed that Earth was flat because they looked up, they didn't see anything move. Nothing's moving, they couldn't feel anything. The Earth is flat. Go ahead, Josh, I'm going to pull a picture up. They pulled a pic, here we go. These are the people that believed that the Earth was a flat surface, because that's what they saw when they looked in the distance. They didn't see that the Earth dropped away from them every time they looked in the distance. And that's what you would see. Visualize that. Slavic, African, they all believed that the earth was flat. And in the 1500s and the Renaissance, all of a sudden Copernicus gets sort of hired by the, I don't know, Catholic Church, Freemasons, by the Jesuits, whoever, how it all came about, to dream up something that Pythagoras had mentioned, what, how many years before? And nobody picked up on it, right? A concept of a floating globe and things like this, you know. But Copernicus had all the measurements all ready to go and everything. And some of them worked, and then they adjusted other ones. Like the distance to the sun started at 3 million, ended up at 93 million, which is a Masonic number, 93. That's where they ended up. That's where we would guess they would end up. But it went from 3 to 5 to 9, you know, there were 20 different levels of that, you know. But that was Copernicus, and that's where we got that model. And when they hold that over our heads, they have control over us. And in a way, they're laughing at us. We know that they call us goyim. You know if I got the term right?
Yep.
Goyim. Cattle.
Useless eaters.
Useless eaters, cattle. That's how the elites think of us.
Okay.
And that occasionally pisses me off to a point that I get really pissed off.
Fair enough. But what about the studies of just average Joe pointing a telescope into the sky and letting it sit for 5 hours?
Nothing looks right.
You see the stars move, though.
Okay. How does that prove the globe?
Well, how does that prove flat Earth? Because you
It
also
doesn't.
said that
You're right.
the
It
flat
doesn't.
Earth
I don't because
doesn't move. But does the sky move?
Yeah.
It does.
Because you see it move.
Exactly. Okay, so you're saying
That's a begging the
Earth
question.
is stationary, but the sky does move.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, that's a begging the question. To assume that it's a globe is basically like begging the question, because you're like, it is round. It is a globe. Well, based on what we were taught, that's really literally it. That's the answer. It's because you were taught one way and you're made fun of if you think the other way. And really, they didn't even really give us any reasons why the Earth couldn't be flat. They just said it's dumb, archaic knowledge that, you know, is debunked because of all this great technology we're supposed to have. You know, one thing, look at money. Look at money, for example. That could be one reason why they lie. There's a lot of incentives for money. But let me give you a really interesting one. Let's imagine that you're 20 years old.
Okay.
And you have your parents, and your parents are like, "Hey, Carter, we want to come talk to you, okay?" And they bring you out to the living room, and they have like drinks and like appetizers and things like that, and you're like, "Okay, something's going on here."
Yes.
And they sit you down and they say, "Carter, we're not your real parents. You're adopted."
Okay.
Would that do anything for you? Do anything to you? What would you think after you found that out?
I've been lied to my entire life. But then there's also the other side of, I mean, if we're looking at this reasonable, it has nothing to do. They're good parents. They adopted a kid that was in a foster home.
Sure.
Blah blah blah. Right. So there's always a good side to something.
Yeah, but what if like there was some kind of nefarious side, like, and you don't know for sure, but you just found out you're adopted, right? So I would have questions. I would be like, so did my mom and dad abandon me? Do I have any other brothers and sisters? Are my biological parents alive still? Like, can I go see them? I want to know who they are. Like, wouldn't you have this desire to go and investigate and find out who they are? It wouldn't just be like, my mom and my dad that I've known for 20 years who aren't really my mom and dad, and they didn't ever feel like, you're 12, you're 15, you're 18, let's tell him. No, let's wait until the opportune time to tell him.
Okay.
Okay? And so what that would do for me is I would want to investigate why my parents would leave me, because you can ask your adoptive parents why would they withheld this information, and they might be able to give you a reasonable answer. But that's still not going to answer why your parents, your original biological parents, let you go. Like your mom, we all came from a female, right? We all for sure came from a female. Now, whether it was a test tube baby or whatever, you came from a female.
Got you. And so you're taking this whole representation and you're putting it towards
Globe Earth as being your adoptive home.
Okay, so I get where you're coming. What's up, man? I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
That was actually a really good representation. See, this is why I love talking to educated people, because they have good point of views.
Yeah.
It was awesome talking with you guys.
Thanks, Carter. Yeah, I want you to have fun, man. I don't want you to take all of your time up, but I appreciate you talking.
No, I come like skating every single
Okay.
day.
Yeah, right on.
This was fun for me.
Yeah, yeah, for me too. Like, you know, we left Minneapolis on Wednesday, and I play NBA 2K20 all the time. Literally, I do. When I'm not here and doing this or doing activism in my hometown, that's usually what I do most of the time, you know, and I try to relax and I try not to take things, you know, I try not to like stress over things. And so I get that. But, you know, at times a man needs to do what is right in the eyes of Yah. Like you have to, like for me, like you have to find your purpose and your conviction, work at it, work at your trade, and then put all your effort into it. And then when you go home at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, you can sit down and relax and feel like you accomplished something that day. And that's what we need. We need purpose. And if all of our knowledge we believe it's only given to us through government, and we never question anything, we just accept things for the way that they are, I feel like we could kind of lose our purpose because we are inquisitive. You know, I mean, if you're put in you know, this fence here, right, and you're just put right in the middle, well, this park is cool, but eventually you're going to want to test out the edge.
Yes.
You're going to want to find out, okay, can I make a bigger skate park? Maybe I can make a skate park for BMXers.
Yes.
Right? Maybe we could have a hot tub and put a pool here. Right? And have and have more people who come who like to skate. We could go door to door and be like, hey, you know, I'm not from here, but you know, we could go and hey, down at the so-and-so park, they're skating. You know what? I'm not interested. Oh, really? I have a skateboard. I never knew that there was a skate park down here. Oh, yeah, that's why I'm here going door to door to tell you that there's a skate park. Because I like skating so much. You like it now that I found out. So let's hang out because we all think and love the same thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I totally get where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait,
this is the Minnesota goodbye, right?
I'm going to give you one more good handshake.
All right.
I respect all of y'all's views. It was
Alex,
a great
by the way.
debate.
And here's
nice to meet you. My name's Carter. My name's Carter. Nice to meet you guys.
And my channel, go check it out. Critical Inception.
Awesome, cool. I got so many business cards today.
Yeah,
This
dude.
is awesome.
Yeah.
And the most important question of all is, why can't you feel the Earth spinning? You're not feeling any of that right now. Why is that?
Ground beneath you is totally stationary. Other things move on top of it.
Why are you able to take a skateboard and not have it influenced by something going sideways while you're going that way? You know.
If I were to stand on this skateboard and then close my eyes, do I feel like I'm moving? No. But since I can see that I'm moving, I know I'm moving.
Really? So, hold up a second, Carter.
Could be
Hold
the
up a
same
second,
exact
Carter.
thing.
When I'm driving with this guy and I close my eyes, I know when I'm turning left or right or going straight and accelerating. So how do you not feel it right there?
If you were going on a flat surface in a car with some pretty good suspension, not like that. I think too low. The
Okay, you're telling me if you were standing still on your skateboard and I came over and moved it, you wouldn't be able to tell that you were moving?
Well, that's because you were stationary and all of a sudden you were moving. You feel the shift, right?
Yeah, we're supposed to be going around like this.
Yes.
In a circular motion, which is
Does
acceleration.
it ever stop? If
You
it
feel
were to
acceleration,
stop, then you would feel it.
Well,
and
if
then
you're
all of a
going in
sudden
a
it would feel
circular
still.
motion, you're also
If it
going
would
to be
start
creating
again, you would
centrifugal
feel it.
and centrifugal force. So why aren't we constantly being ejected outwards?
Well, that's because of gravity, right?
No. See, that's the begging question. You're assuming that the reason that happens is because of gravity.
Because that's what I've been taught.
Right. Totally. At least you admit that, right?
Yes.
And I admitted that too.
A lot on gravity if you're even willing to fathom the ball, because gravity in our experience really
Jim
just
Lotus.
comes down to what goes up must come down.
Undercover CIA.
Although we're also told that it means that matter attracts matter. That has never ever been proven. Never. It's a postulate that makes no sense. You never see something big just all of a sudden attract something small, or get like an orbit of smaller things. These are things that are imaginary constructs created by scientists, I guess, so-called astrophysicists. we test gravity here on Earth, it's literally just dropping stuff.
Yeah.
You seem
so wait
because
density
yeah.
before you say anything.
Yeah.
Let me get your view straight. Sure. Do you believe there is no such thing as gravity, or do you believe there is gravity, but
no such thing as gravity.
Not in the globe form?
What if it's electrostatics, buoyancy, and density?
There could be a force that is somewhat unaccounted for in the globe model, and I guess we might be able to call that gravity that causes a downward motion. But it's really just explained by electromagnetism. What goes up must come down. Density is really what causes things to go down. When something is heavier than the medium that's inside, it goes down, it sinks.
Yes.
When something is lighter, it rises.
But do that in water.
But if I were to drop this card, it would not drop as fast as that.
But
that's because it's a different. I got you.
Density, yeah. But what about water? Okay, so we're out on the beach, and then we take this guy's boat, and we go out to the middle of the lake or ocean or whatever, and then we drop your skateboard in the lake.
Okay.
What happens to your skateboard?
It sinks.
Why?
Because it's metal.
No, but why does it sink? It's heavy. So when you're in the air that we can breathe, that's gravity, but then when it's water, it's buoyancy and density.
Okay, but if we were to add an air pocket onto the bottom of this, right?
Yeah.
So let's say we added a boat shape.
Yep.
And it would come up right here.
Air pocket would cause it to rise, not
exactly, but then it would float.
But that's why density and buoyancy are counter forces. The buoyant forces would cause it to rise.
Is the air in the bottom of this pocket?
Absolutely.
That's causing it to float on top of the water.
Yeah, which is less dense than the water.
Yes.
Because it's like a crystal, in a sense. All crystals will, like our skin. Like my skin isn't protruding out into the ether. No, it's a perfectly formed to my skin. And so the air all collects together. Like you ever seen Mercury come together, like on Terminator 2 at the end of Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Right? And it comes together like that. So it's coming together because it's like it. So if it's close, then yeah, it's going to come together and join and become one again. That's what air does. When you have water in a bottle and you have the little bubbles, if you put the two bubbles together, they don't continue to stay separate. They join up together. And so that's the same thing with you using your example of the buoyancy of the air is less dense and it's together as the water. And so yes, of course it's going to rise. But the same thing that he is using is that if somebody wants me to believe that their outer space is real, then we could do this experiment in our head. We have a string and we have a helium balloon, and we fill the helium balloon up with helium, but we dye the air like red or blue or something like that in a clear balloon so we can see the helium in the balloon, okay?
How would you dye the air?
Well, we would just add like a mist, a red powder or something like that, okay? So then we can see it separate from the ether, and it's contained, right? So what's containing the helium? The rubber,
yes.
Right? Okay, so I'll believe that outer space is real when you can remove the rubber and the shape of the helium balloon. Let's say it says happy birthday because it's somebody's birthday. And we remove all the plastic and it's floating happy birthday. And it doesn't displace. It just stays uniform the way that the rubber was before when it was contained. Okay, you see that?
Yes.
So why does it displace?
Because I think I get your concept of what you're saying. If your hand is in a pond, right, and there is a leaf floating right here, if you do not move your hand, this leaf will not move. If there's no current, it's just a still body of water. Your hand is in a bucket, right?
Sure.
If all of a sudden you move your hand, the leaf is gonna fall.
Yeah, because
So
yeah, okay.
if you have to take this plastic away in outer space, right, which is what you were saying, you would have to move that plastic, and then all of a sudden, the mist should hypothetically fall away, which causes it to disperse, right?
Give me another example. I think I see what you're, but you got to give me another analogy so I can really kind of hone in on what you're trying to say. Because what I'm trying, let me give you. Then I want to hear what you say. But really quick, you can't have two separate pressure systems next to each other without a solid barrier. So you can't have a negative pressure like the tires over here are high pressure, right? Okay, so we fill them up and then it's contained. The rubber contains the air.
Yes.
Okay, so it's at 40 psi. And when we tap it, when we puncture it, it makes an explosion or a hissing sound because the air is escaping out.
Yes.
And so what's happening is that the air is escaping because it's trying to equalize it with the outside pressure. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I totally get you. But then again, if we could look at it at a completely different standpoint, the reason the air is coming out of the tire is because now there is an exit for that air.
You're right.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the whole car, the weight of the car is pushing the tire into the ground.
Exactly.
If there's a hole for the air to come out of, and this tire is starting to collapse, it's pushing the air out of this hole, that's why the air is coming out of the
Actually, that is. There are experiments you could do that would not necessarily use weight. You could simply contain it in any container. Imagine a propane cylinder or something that's not going to have weight on top of it. If you open the valve of a propane cylinder, that propane cylinder is pressurized. What's going to happen? It's going to escape. You don't need any extra weight to push it out.
Yes.
Pop can.
So how would they go out to outer space? In my visual, in your mind, think outer space is surrounding the ball Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's infinite.
Yes.
Right? So we're just this little spot here, but we have this entire park that's at negative pressure. And then we have this. Imagine how hard and how much this has to exert pressure outwards so that it doesn't collapse in on itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you do puncture, so you would to go to outer space, in my opinion, in this visual, 14.6 psi in the ground, negative 14 torr in space, solid barrier. So you go to outer space, you have to penetrate a solid barrier to get out. Uh-oh, we just opened the convertible, now all the air is coming in. Now all of the outside space vacuum is coming in to create entropy to equalize itself with our air.
I think it goes the other way.
Okay.
It's the other way.
We get sucked out.
High
to
pressure
space.
always moves to low pressure.
Okay, yeah, so I mean, so you understand what I'm saying in that regard?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're saying that's why we have not gone to space?
Yes, because we're contained.
Because space can't exist without a barrier.
Because if this dome right here was broken, then the air would escape.
Yeah.
And that's why we cannot go out into space.
Yeah, there's no way to, like, if you have a bottle that's a can, okay, and you get a screwdriver and you hit the side of the can and you puncture it and you pull the screwdriver out, I'll believe outer space is real when the liquid in the can stays in the can and doesn't leak out.
Well, why would it not leak out?
I'm saying, but I just said, I'll believe outer space is real. Okay, do you follow me? I'll believe outer space is real when you do that and the liquid doesn't come out. Because that's what they're telling us. That's what they're telling us.
Outer space is real when pigs fly.
No, it's not. But because it's not tangible. Because we can do these.
Is if you can't construct an experiment that is going to show how a vacuum can exist next to an uncontained container of gas, like our atmosphere is allegedly gas around the sphere, according to the globe model. So we have gas floating out here, and then space over here, a vacuum. So if the vacuum is a low pressure system, the gas is a higher pressure system. According to the second law of thermodynamics, entropy, you should have that high pressure system moving out into the low pressure system. So all the air on Earth should be escaping into space constantly unless there's a barrier.
There's something stopping.
That's why he's requiring an experiment to disprove the second law of entropy in this case. Otherwise, how can you necessarily accept that? It certainly can't be accepted as science because there's no experiment.
Okay, but what if we had... This is hypothetical, and I don't know a lot about this subject, so I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I'm literally asking you this. What if we had a zero gravity room, right? And then we were to enter two gases, a gas from outer space and a gas from Earth. What would happen? Would they mix?
Well, theoretically, I mean...
It's like oil and water. They're two different, you know what I mean?
If they had an elemental, if there was some sort of element in space, I guess it could mix with an element from Earth. That would be just simple chemistry.
But what if it doesn't mix? Just like oil and water. What if outer space gas doesn't mix with Earth gas, and that's why?
I don't agree with that. What's a pressure then? What's pressure?
That's why I said I'm literally.
No, I know, and I appreciate you brainstorming with us, and this is great to work things out because then we can check each other and be like, okay, I think we might be going into something that's more theory or hypothetical or things that maybe we have expounded on science fiction. Hey, what's good, man? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You exist? There's millions out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the joke.
It's just that it's made fun of, so nobody talks about it.
No, I
you
don't.
know?
I don't think it's a joke. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Do you want to understand it?
So what? What the fuck?
Do
You've
you-
been talking about it for fucking hours?
At least an hour.
Yeah.
Do you want to understand it? Okay, cool. Yeah. What I can do one better.
We don't like being lied to, and we rejected this.
I can do one better. Here's $5, and
That's
there's
dinner right there, man.
Yeah, man. Well, here. You need dinner? Yeah, there you go.
Holy shit, keep it
$10.
coming.
So the app is $3. Okay.
Y'all are good people.
This is how much we care.
So the app is $3.
This is my life savings right here, guys.
So the app is $3, and then that's the money to buy the app, and then you can buy, Chick-fil-A or something for $7.
Yeah, dude.
But on the QR code on the front, you can scan it, and what you do is you take the app here, and depending upon if you have Android or Apple, okay, so now it's activated. Here's the app.
The shit that happens at the skate park, man.
And, well, you got to go to where people are at, bro.
Exactly, bro.
Okay, so here you go. Oh, I got to ask a Flatty a question. So you go to the question mark up in the top right, and here were all your questions that you would ever want to ask a Flatty.
Wait, so y'all are called flatties?
Well, that's kind of a thing that we call each other
That's an
sometimes.
unfortunate name. I'm sorry.
Where is the edge? Okay, where does the sun go? Photos of Earth from space.
Yeah,
that's
how
usually,
can you deny that?
Yeah.
It beats moron.
So what happens is you'll click that icon and it'll send you to YouTube's, and then it will give you about a half a dozen or so videos, and this one is from ODD TV 21 questions, and you hit that, and then it's usually like about 5 to 10 minute videos, and then you can expound on that from here.
No shit.
But they're handpicked for somebody just
Yeah,
learning.
so each question has a specific videos for that question for you to go through.
Do you believe the Earth is round? I mean, it's like round, like a circle.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could be something that could be used as a means to say, like, this is, hey, take it care,
Before we
Carter.
dive too deep, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go skate
thanks,
for a little
Carter.
bit.
Enjoy,
I
man.
respect all of y'all's opinions. It was absolutely amazing talking
Yeah,
to
you
y'all.
too, man.
I love expanding my mind as much as I possibly can.
I'll see.
You guys are
just-
great people.
just
Very,
hold on.
very nice.
And the big question that I asked you.
Okay.
Can you feel the Earth spinning?
Yes.
All right. You want to check this out?
No, I'm
No.
Yeah, so
I can't believe y'all are real.
no, yeah, we're very real. And so what it is like this. There we go. So the center is the North Pole. So this is the realm that we live in. It's called Earth.
Yeah. Listen,
And let me.
since we're talking about the gas.
Okay. Center is the North Pole,
Wait, where's
and
the
then
South Pole?
the South Pole is this right here. This is south.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So the compass.
The whole thing?
Yeah. So when you have a compass, right, it points north. So there's north, south, 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 south. Okay. So when you point your compass north, what you do, and you don't really realize it, is you're actually just doing this. That's what you're doing, right? And so let's look at it like this. Let's close the compass, and I'll show you how seasons work. So as this sun moves across our flat plane, you just press this a couple of times, the guy that looks like he's jumping, and see how I'm advancing a month. And what I'm doing is I'm showing you how the sun continues to get closer and closer or further and further away from the center. So when the sun is lower on the horizon, like it is now, it's just over by California right now. That's all it is. It's over California. It's not going below
Wait,
the
so
Earth.
do you think all planets are flat or just Earth?
Well, so regardless of what the lights in the sky are, if you play pool, you don't assume that the pool balls are a ball and the billiard table's a ball too? Isn't the billiard table flat?
Yeah.
So, right? And so in a way, that's kind of illogical. Because just because you see, black birds everywhere doesn't mean all black birds are. If you see horses everywhere, doesn't mean that, the only animal ever to be around is a horse, right?
Yeah.
And so no carpenter would ever measure their ceiling to carpet their floor.
Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so download the app.
How can the Earth be flat?
Why not?
Because like the pictures from space. I mean, I get like they have videos.
Yeah.
But you didn't take those pictures? Do you know the people that took those pictures? No, you don't.
Me neither.
Why do you trust them?
It's good to just not get separated.
Yeah, we're just out here to try like
So do you guys
give you an alternative viewpoint.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Once you start with this one, you're going to get the other
But
one.
all the other
this is the one that we're working on.
Wait, so do you think the Earth is just like a plane, or is there like stuff underneath, like the core? And
Yeah, so what I would do and what I would suggest is not to have the solar system in your head, right? And then we're a third rock from the sun, but it's a disk instead of a globe. Don't replace one model with another. In my opinion, it's just, flat and stationary, and the land and water go on infinitely forever horizontally in all directions. So right here on this image that you see, it just land goes on infinitely forever here. We just have to get out here. I mean, I didn't make this, and I didn't discover anything over here. I haven't gone out here, so what's all this blue? Is this really all ocean, or is there land that they're hiding from us and withholding until we're ready to, have this on our maps?
Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's awesome to be...
All right, y'all, I'm gonna go skate.
Yeah, man, have fun out there.
Check it out.
Take care of yourself.
I'll download the app. I'll show my friends.
Yeah, man, thanks a lot.
I will too. You guys are awesome. Wow. This was really fun. Yes. All right, you guys have a great day.
Yeah, take care, Carter.
I wish you the best in all of your endeavors.
Yeah, you too, man.
Do you want to see
learn some new tricks out there?
Theory too. That's about health.
How many do I have now? I got like 4. This is awesome.
You got any tricks? Can you show us any tricks?
No.
Oh.
I have not warmed up today.
Take that off any cool jumps?
Huh?
Take that off any sweet jumps?
What, the board?
Yeah.
Sometimes, if I don't break a shoulder like I did last time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, now his legs are worn out from standing here.
Yeah, right?
He doesn't dare go and do anything.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, man.
Who's the best skater in this park?
Yeah, who does everybody
Right
kind of...
now?
Always the little
Who
kids,
does everybody
Uh-oh.
stop and wait for?
He's here.
I gotta see who's here. Jay's pretty good.
Pretty good? Uh-oh.
The best here. Oh man, I don't know. You see that guy up in the tie-dye shirt? He's African American. He's holding the board. He's on the very left side, right by the orange shirt.
Yep.
Right by the orange shirt. He's probably the best right now. Right here, as of right now, I know a bunch of other people that are absolutely amazing. They literally jump over this stuff. One guy cleared this whole entire tombstone right here, just absolutely ollied over. It was crazy. I can't do any of that. I just skate. You know what I mean? I'm just here for fun.
So what if we got him to get into flat Earth? Do you think everybody at this skate park would get into flat Earth then?
You want me to be completely honest with you?
Skateboarder
Probably not.
Yeah? Did you get a card?
Yeah. I gave him a card.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, here's $5 to buy it. Oh, no, here. Yeah.
An app card.
Yeah, let me give you an app card. So you can download the app and learn more about flat Earth, and this is the money to buy the app for you.
$3.
It's $3 for the app, so you made $2. Fair enough? Yeah, why not?
All right.
Would you, yeah, you guys too, would you guys, you wouldn't bet your life Earth is a globe, would you?
Huh?
Would you bet your life Earth is a globe?
Would I bet my life on anything? No.
Okay, great. Good.
Would I bet my life that God is real? No. Would I bet my life that the earth is round? No. Because do we truly know?
To be honest,
you know what I mean?
We don't know the exact model. We know the lie is there.
You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. Because it's always expanding. Everybody's learning everything.
We're learning it. We learned a lot
This guy right here? This guy right here you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's crazy.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, y'all be safe.
Yeah, you too. Take care, son.
Send him over to us.
Yeah, he's right here.
Oh, you already got one? Yeah.
Okay.
My legs are about ready to collapse.
Yeah, what do you say, guys? I mean, it's been 2 hours.
That was wonderful.
I'm gonna take that sign down. Hey, how you doing? Hey. Maybe, I'm not sure. Here you go. Put all your masks on. All right, let's go say hello to these peeps. over here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You believe in like trade system, trade currency?
Yeah, barter. Hell
Barter
yeah.
currency? Yeah,
Hell
I fuck with
yeah.
that too, man. I like that.
Hell yeah.
A lot of us are in cryptocurrency too. Yeah, that's cool. That's like
Hey, what's
an
up?
open market
Hey, what's
type
up?
deal.
Yeah.
Can't be traced. I like that.
Yeah, it's
Cold
I mean,
had
it's
to get your
getting
session.
Yeah, it's got a
crazy,
little
and it's more important now than ever.
Minnesota.
That if we can expose that they're lying.
Probably
about
this
the
temperature
Earth,
in
most
Minnesota.
people's minds will open up, and then
Probably
they'll
10
figure
degrees
out
more colder.
We're being controlled by a bunch of freaking psychos.
It was nice earlier when the sun was out.
Where if people are like, it's a ball, it's a ball, and I'm like, okay, do you want to have some? You want to hear some information? That might be opposite of that. No, it's a fucking ball. You're an idiot. Okay. Tell me. Prove to me it's a fucking ball. Show me your proof. Because we've been looking for it for 6 fucking years. Let's see it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna watch fucking NASA, the Cartoon Network. Fuck that shit.
You mind holding on to this for a second, please? No problem. Hey, did you guys all get the app card?
I gave him
right?
yeah, I just
you
gave
each
him
got
one.
one? Okay, let me buy it for you. Let me buy it for you. Yeah. Yeah, so it's $3.
Yeah, it's $2.99.
Yeah, it's $2.99, so I'll buy it for you, and then you'll be left $4.
Okay.
And go to Chick-fil-A or something. Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'll definitely have to.
That's how much we want this to get out there,
Yeah.
man.
I'm with y'all's ideas, man. For real, I love it.
Yeah, the app is like an encyclopedia. It's got all the questions you're gonna ask on it. It'll answer it for you.
And then it has more, right? So you can click on another button and learn about viruses are not real. Then you can click on another button and find out how all the governments are connected. Then you can click another button and find out how NASA began with Nazi scientists.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can find out that the one who started NASA, Werner von Braun, who was a Nazi scientist, on his tombstone it just said his name and it said Psalm 19:1. And in Psalm 19:1 it says that the firmament shows the Creator's handiwork. The firmament is the ceiling to our sky.
I've been told this. I've been
Yep.
told this.
Yep.
They don't want us to see what's going on.
No.
It's a real
Now,
deal, y'all.
so I don't know how many here believe it, but me and Joshua think that the earth and sky go on infinitely forever. Is if we go there, the land appears before you.
That makes perfect.
Yeah, you have to discover it. If you assume that everything's already been discovered, that's a religion. And then why would you want to go discover anything? Nobody would want to. I mean, if they think that they've claimed and seen everything that it is to be seen, well, I haven't seen everything there is to be seen, and why do I got to take your word for it?
The Truman Show is a mockery towards it too, because Truman is he's trapped in that little bubble, right? And then he's like, I want to be an explorer like Magellan, and she says, oh, we already discovered everything. There's no place to go.
Watch Free Guy. You ever seen the movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds?
It's a new movie. Yeah.
You have to watch that, bro.
It's about NPCs, and we see NPCs all the fucking time.
And that's real life NPCs.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. Hell yeah. Fucking zombies walking around, man. It's crazy.
Only one president's ever taken us to the moon, allegedly. That's Nixon.
Yeah, Tricky Dick Nixon brought us to the moon.
And every other president says
I'm gonna take
that
these
they can't
signs.
do it.
Ryan drew out these signs. I'm like, bro, you need to come to Minnesota and draw out my signs for me.
You know that they say that he called the moon from a landline?
Yeah, he was telling me about that.
236,000
Landline. That makes sense.
Back in the 60s, that ain't happening, man.
A
That's
landline?
bullshit.
How does that work?
No.
It's gotta be great.
They absolutely did it in
landline.
the 60s, but that was the good technology. Now we can't rebuild it.
It's a painful process to build it back
Yeah,
again.
he says it's a painful process to build it
We
back.
destroyed that technology. It's a painful process to build it back
Hey,
again.
check out the lunar lander on his shirt.
It's a homeless tweaker shelter.
Look at that.
Made out of tinfoil. Made out of tinfoil.
Yeah, dude.
All right, you want
That's
to
what
walk
they
her
went to the moon
while
on.
you're doing- She's being patient, man.
Yeah. I just met her the other night. But check this out. For real. Do y'all believe in satellites? Are
No,
satellites
absolutely
real?
not.
No.
Fuck satellites.
They're not real.
No,
What do you think birds are real?
Satellite Act of 1963. Satellite Act of 1963.
We were at Denny's the other night, and we were just perusing through Facebook, and I ran across a group that it suggested that I would be interested in, and it said birds are not real. It was the group Birds Are Not Real. And he didn't know what that meant. He didn't know, like, what does that mean, birds are not real? And I had to explain to him that people have this conspiracy that birds or pigeons are drone CIA agents. And then the next day he overheard somebody talking about our birds. Oh yeah, he was talking to somebody at the campus yesterday. And a student said to him, okay, so do you think birds are real? Have you gotten our do you think birds are real from anybody yet?
Not today.
Okay, guys. What do you think?
It's getting chilly. Sun's gone.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Battery's dying.
All right, let's look at the signage. They were out here with this guy. And these signs that I need to take home with me because they're better than my drawings and things like that. So
yeah, take them.
Yeah, this is what Ryan did. This is great. Can I take these with me, dude?
Yeah, go ahead.
These are awesome, man.
I just scribble these in a couple minutes.
Well, it takes me like an hour to come up with something like that. They don't look like that.
I got professional colored markers at the back of his place. Prismacolor, it's 4-year-old marker set.
If you can do that, and we can get on the road here in the next couple of hours, that'd be great.
It takes me longer to color them than draw them.
Yeah, guys.
Well, it doesn't have to be too detailed because they're just watching them as they draw by, you know.
Well, they do, yeah.
But if I got to fill in all the spaces,
when he said on a table, then people can really look at it. Let's
Yeah.
wrap this up.
All right, everyone. Let's say goodbye to everybody on wherever we're at.
Stay flat, y'all.
All right, John. Say goodbye. All right.
Stay flat. Stay flat.
Yeah, everybody. Us a good trip and safe travels because John and I are leaving
Say no to tyranny.
in a couple of hours
Say
to
no.
go back to Minnesota. All right, so here we are. Yeah, pray for our travels that we don't have any problems, issues with those guys that just went by. And you know, cars are okay on the road. All these vaxxers that we're going to be surrounded by on the way home, that they stay attentive and they're not wearing masks or anything. There's roadkill on the ground, so make me aware of any dangers in front of me, like semi-truck tires and stuff like that. If you would like to reimburse for the cash that's given out to help people get the app so they don't have to pay for it, you can do that through PayPal or Venmo, Authentic Intent, BitChute, and whatever. So, hey, how's it going?
I heard y'all are paying people to download the app.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, man. Let me ask you a question first. Would you bet your life Earth is a globe? That's a good answer. Thank you for being honest. So let me give you $10, bro. And then the app is right there. Just use your regular camera, right, and then just scan the QR code. That's how we order things at restaurants nowadays, you know. And the app is $3. And in the bottom left, there's a daily video. It's about 5 minutes long. Do that for 7 days. Watch that. It's 5 minutes while you're, you know, drinking your coffee or whatever. Like, because we do a lot of stuff that takes just 5 minutes, and we don't even think that of the time that it takes and the money that it takes to do those things. And then in the top right of the app is a question mark, and whatever question you've ever had to ask by a flatty, where's the edge? What about images of Earth from space? Click that question, and then videos will pop up pertaining to that particular question.
I gotta help them.
And you know, it's not gonna happen overnight. You might not even care for it, but just look into it, and maybe it'll just help you. The gears turning, and you might become globe skeptic, and not really necessarily believe that it's a ball, or flat. But you're just like, man, I don't even know where I live now. Fair enough. Yeah, Joshua. JP. Nice to meet you, man.
JP, real quick, take a look at this man's shirt, John's shirt. That is the craft that they said they traveled 236,000 miles one way and landed on the moon, turned around, came back another 236,000 miles and landed back on Earth. What do you think about that?
I mean, I guess it's like a product of its time.
No, look at the picture. Look at the picture. Really look. What do you think about that picture? Would you bet your life they went to the moon on that crap?
Okay. Say goodbye.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Later.
See you in Minneapolis.
Bye. Alex.
Well, we should do this, I suppose, huh?
Peace out, y'all.
Should we do this?
Stay flat. Question authority. Say no to tyranny.
Should we do this?
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in now.
All right, bye. Bye, everybody.
Take it easy. Peace.
How do I get this?
I gave